Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everybody. However, you happen to be watching this, I want to welcome you to the Gaming Circle Podcast, the podcast where this week we were planning on just, reflecting and chilling and, having a nice quiet episode and, talking about all the wonderful things that were happening this year. And then the news god said, heck no, we got something else for you to talk about. And we're going to get into all of that. It's going to be a very interesting conversation, but I want to welcome first my guests because, as you can tell, Mr. Everborn Saga, the slanderous one himself, has not made his appearance quite yet. But he likes to be fashionably late. But it doesn't matter because I have two wonderful guests with me this morning. I have first the wandering Dutch man himself has graced us with his presence. These days, he needs no introduction. He has the keys. He shows up. He's like, I want to talk. I'm like, here you go. So welcome, good sir. How you doing, Dutch?
Welcome. Yeah, I'm doing good. I'm nervously anticipating charity stream in a few weeks, so I'm getting everything ready for that. But I'm also really looking forward to Halo next week. So yeah, awesome stuff.
I appreciate you coming through. And we'll definitely be checking out all your stuff, and we'll of course be talking about that as the show progresses. Also, I want to welcome one gentleman from the Talk Show Podcast, which normally we were actually planning on having the whole crew here, but life happens, and last minute changes happen, and we hope that they're doing well, and we will definitely reschedule and plan with them to have the whole crew joining us. But from the Talk Show Podcast, the Blind Giant 808, how you doing, sir? How you doing today? Thank you so much for joining us.
Good, sir. Good. Thank you for having me. Yeah, kind of bummed that boys couldn't be here, but hopefully everything is going well, and stoked to be here, man.
I appreciate you being here. For those who may not be aware of what you do on the internet and the Talk Show Podcast, why don't you give somebody just the elevator pitch of what you guys are about?
So we are the TalkStory Podcast.
Apologies. TalkStory Podcast, please.
Yeah.
Continue.
So in Hawaii, TalkStory is like what we're doing now. We're just sitting here and we're talking about something. We're just talking stories. So Bango Mango is the creator. Him and Draco, and they found me on Twitter in
wonderful.
in the ILP chat. So me and Bango hooked up that way because like he said on multiple shows, if you see that 808 at the end of somebody's like gamer tag or name, it's that's our area code. So we usually reference it with someone from Hawaii. So that's how we started talking, and I was a guest on his show and just been a panel member since. So that's how it goes sometimes.
That's awesome, man. That's very cool. I appreciate that. I'm happy that's how you guys connected, because that usually tends to be how we connect as well. Similarly, I was always part of Boom Show. I was always in the chats and all of that. And one thing led to another. He invited me on, and that's what started me on this path. So kindred spirit. That's awesome, man. That's very cool. Yes. Very cool. So you know what? While we're waiting for Mr. Everborn to file in, and I see a bunch of some good old favorites in the chat. Appreciate y'all for coming to check us out. I see you, Tide Talks. We need to get you on here one of these days. Of course, time zones being what they are, it always makes things a little difficult. But I appreciate you coming through, Nix and Scrub Nurse. Thank you guys so much for coming to check us out. But let's start this how we usually do. I'll start real quick. What we've been playing. As you can tell, I decided to dust off my PlayStation 5. Forgive me, I'm being a little bit salty. Yes, it is what it is. I decided to dust it off a bit because we haven't had a real game that warranted, hey, let's jump into PS5. And I tend to be an Xbox guy from as those who watch the show know. It's all about the controller for me. I apologize. So for one reason or another, I thought, hey, why not try the Solar Ash? And I've been playing it. It's cool. It's interesting for those who know that it's out there. I haven't really put enough time in it to be able to give me my opinions on it, but I love the art style. I love the way that the locomotion is very smooth and stuff. So you guys are going to see some gameplay as we go along, and when I'm somewhere to a point where I can actually give my opinion on it, you guys will definitely hear about that. That, and also Generation Zero, which blind giant, you're saying that you also already played. So maybe you can give me a bit more of your thoughts on it. I'm about an hour into both of those. So okay. You've played Generation Zero a bit. You were saying, what are your thoughts on the game?
It's a fun game. Like
Yeah.
if you're really into like that, because it's definitely a slow burner. So it's a grindy thing. You're in this big map and you're going around and looting houses and trying to figure out the story. You find like not video recording, excuse me, but phone messages telling you the story of what's going on, because you came back from like a camp or something, and machines have taken over, and you're trying to figure out what's going on. So you go home, your parents aren't there, and you follow this trail. But it's a really fun game to co-op with, and if you like that style of game, man, you're in for it. It has a good atmosphere. It's really
kind of blew me away, bro. I didn't expect anything of it, and I ended up going from a 5-minute playthrough to having an hour of footage, and I'm gonna probably go back and keep playing. It's a pretty cool situation. I can definitely tell that co-op will make it shine. I haven't had a chance to try it with co-op yet, but that's probably my next port of call. I'll give that a shot. But while we're talking games, what have you been playing this week? What's been keeping you busy?
I guess I'd like to see myself as I think like Jez Corden called it, like a grazer. I play a bunch of different things, and like so I was playing some New World, played a little bit of that, got back into that finally. I tried out that XO1 game that's on Game Pass. That was really cool. The graphics are nice. It's really
the pixel graphics, right? That if I recall correctly. Is it pixel graphics? Is it? I thought it was like it's kind of pixel graphics, but it's also like next gen effects as well as pixelated graphics as well, kind of like 2.5D style, if I'm not mistaken.
I think so. Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
And that was fun. You're just gliding everywhere. It's like one of those momentum games. You got to keep the momentum going. But it's really, man, some of the levels are really nice. There's like this lava level and this water level where you're just in the ocean, and it just looks really clean and really fun.
Cool.
What else have I been playing? Like I said, I just been playing a bunch of different stuff.
Been grazing a lot of the Game Pass has done that to me. Game Pass and like Quick Resume has literally made me become a grazer, as it were. So I'm always like in the middle of something. It's actually funny you say that. Like I pick out these games because these are the new ones I've been playing. But of course I still been playing Halo. Shout out to Cybernox. He and I on the Game Pass, the Xbox Game Pass Club on his YouTube channel. He's trying to finish all the Halos. Nice. Yesterday we tried to finish Halo 2, and it was an interesting experience. There are some bugs that we ran into, and it should have been like a 20-30 minute playthrough turned into like a long playthrough, but we had a great time with it. I think he's going to Halo 3 next, so I'm looking forward to possibly jumping in and playing with him again. Nice. Forza Horizon, Halo Infinite, and of course, on the topic of Forza Horizon, I will bring in Mr. Wandering Dutch, who seems to have conquered that game beyond anyone else's expectations.
Yep.
What have you been playing this week, sir?
Also, mostly Halo Infinite, but I did jump into Forza Horizon as well last night. After I'd finished setting up a few overlay things, I'd just jump back in again for a little bit. But yeah, I've got over 6 days in Forza Horizon 5 now. I have pretty much conquered. I've got all the houses. I've gotten most of the cars. So now it's just unlocking the new ones that they bring out, and saving up for the really, really expensive ones. But other than that, yeah, mostly Halo Infinite, to be honest. Just jumping into game modes as and when I can with groups of people, usually at least 4 people for a small fire team, if not try to get big team battles on the go or custom games. But yeah, I'm just waiting. I am eagerly anticipating next week for the campaign. That's
now
really
before I ask you about the potential changes in the progression system, which has recently dropped, I will welcome Mr. Everborn Saga, the man that is out there doling out hypocrisy bombs left and right on these Twitter streams.
Yeah.
And we'll get deep into the news, but how you doing today, man?
I'm also the man who just left my wife and 2 daughters to bring in all of the groceries in the house.
Shopping.
Yes, so that I can get on the show.
There. I see what you're using me as an excuse
and I will absolutely hear about this later.
I'm sure you will, for sure. I'm sure you will.
I did bring in like the 30-pound bag of cat food, but
there you go.
You know.
Okay, so at least you pulled some kind of man weight over there. That's okay. That's good. That's good.
Oh boy.
But yes, we will get into more of what's going on as far as the news and whatnot. But you know what? At the top, I kind of want Everborn, if you have a moment, I kind of want you to speak one more time to your Kickstarter, because it is rounding the end of this Kickstarter in the next 2 days, if I'm not mistaken. And I want us to end strongly. We want to end it with a bang, as they say. So please, for those who may not be aware, we'll put it on at the top, and we'll also put it on at the back end. If you have a minute to share what is going on there and what people can do to still take part.
Yes. So here's the link. If you could, I put it in the private chat. You could put it there, and maybe we can share that screen, show a couple of the animations, and we can talk about the project.
Yes,
a little bit.
So if you have a screen, if you have a screen you want to share with me, please do so, and I will let the fine folks see what's going on. So if you have not checked out the Everborn Saga Kickstarter, I have just put the link in the chat. Please do yourself a favor and go check that out. We want to make sure that we end this Kickstarter strongly, and selfishly, I want to be able to get a hardcover version of what I ordered. No,
yeah,
I joke. I already have the hardcover, but still, if he is able to get to the stretch goals, everyone that gets even the lowest tier will be upgraded to the hardcover, and we want to make sure that happens. So go ahead and maximize that, and we'll see.
All right. So here we go. I'm just gonna play it's like 3 minutes long, but it's
no worries.
Okay.
Now you may not have audio. No, there is no audio, so you may want to talk over it. Yeah, there is no audio, so you may want to talk over it. You probably didn't choose the audio.
You don't. No, you can't hear it.
You cannot hear it. No, we cannot hear it.
Okay, hold on a minute. Hold on a minute. All right, we're gonna try this again.
Or actually, you know what? How about I do that instead? Make it easy on all of us. Yes. How about I do that? Ready? I will do that. So here we go.
So you're gonna share your screen.
Yes, I am. My screen should be shared. Hold on, let me.
Cool.
You see, yeah, we do this live, folks. We do this all live. So screw it. We're doing it live. Hold on. Let me share my screen. Let me make sure I have audio. Hold on. Share with audio, and we are talking about. Let's see, Gamer Circle. Blah, 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 blah. Give me 1 second. For some reason, I'm not able to share with audio. For some reason, it won't let me share it with audio.
I think
difficult as it can be. So yes, I will share it so that it's smooth, but you may have to talk over it because there is no audio share for some reason.
All right. So if that's the case, let me share it one more time.
Okay.
So I think I know what the problem was. So I'm going to try this again. And let me know.
Yep. And I will add you in. Okay.
Okay.
And
so I'm
play
going
when you can, and we'll see.
All right. Tell me if you can hear it.
Yes, I can hear it now.
People, we are back. This is the second Kickstarter campaign in the Everborn Saga. It is me, Stephen A.M. Johnson. Some of you may just know me as Everborn Saga. We are launching a new series today. It is
see that shirt? See the merch?
It takes place on the opposite
looking clean.
World. You may already know of.
You may want to turn the volume up a little if you can.
Colony of Ethrin. The Redlands is to the east of all of that. So our lead character is Karma. Karma's a bandit. She leads a crew that targets the royals. And
better?
A little bit better, yeah.
Who really hates the royals? There's just one problem. Karma is secretly one of the royals, and she's been leading the team to systematically target allies of the king so she can exact her revenge because he got on the throne by killing her parents. Now, she can't tell the king she's robbing his friends, and she can't tell her friends that she's using them to settle a score, because that's exactly why they hate the royals. Now, she's going to lead a double life, and I am sure that won't come back to bite her. Now, you might be asking yourself how this connects to the rest of the saga. Well, on top of all the drama going on in Karma's life, she's also having really bad nightmares. But it turns out those nightmares aren't just nightmares, they're visions of the future. And in those visions, she sees Ariel. Now, I don't want to give too much away.
Even though I just gave almost everything away.
Clearly.
You supported the first campaign. I created a tier just for you. It is called the loyalty tier. You can cut out right now, go straight to that tier. That's the one for you. But if you are new to the Everborn saga, the rightful heir is the one you want. It will get you caught up on every chapter we've ever done. That includes Prince of Arcadia, Ariel's Adventure, and now the Redlands. But there's another special tier called the Everborn tier, and that one we will create a character for you that will make an appearance in a future issue of the Everborn saga. And the final and best one, and there's only one of these, if you like, you can choose the Immortal tier, where we will make a one-of-one cover done by Philip Johnson, the one who does all our covers, and it will be just for you. It will be a collector's item. So I just want to say thank you for all the support and all the positive words, and you guys keep us going. So let's do it one more time. Everborn.
You can tell I hadn't slept in like 3 days for that.
Clearly. Boy needed a nap. You could tell. No, but I wanted to put this on at the top because I know that you guys that this is the home stretch, and
70 hours to go.
There you go. It's a wonderful, wonderful show. It's a wonderful series, and if you have not checked it out, you definitely need to check it out.
I'm going to show one more thing for 1 minute, and this is.
Go ahead. Yeah.
Okay, check this out.
So I assume this will be the concept for the Netflix show.
Yes,
I could tell.
that is exactly.
It is good animation. It's really cool. It's really cool.
Nice.
Yes. So for those who have not checked it out yet, please, it's ending in 2 days. You should definitely go out there and check it out. The links are in the show notes. They will be in the show notes. They are literally in the chat right now. Let's end this strongly as it has started. And let's see here. I will make sure that I put the link in all the places that they need to go so everybody can come and check it out. We appreciate those who have already been checking it out, and please pass it on to those who might be interested. And we think it could end as strongly as it started. So I thought it'd be best if we put it right at the top. And while I have you, Mr. Everborn, why don't you tell the fine people what you've been playing this week? Because like you, instead of going into the backlog, I found new things to play, and I ended up playing Solar Ash.
Yes,
and Gen Zero. But go ahead, Everborn. What have you been playing this week?
That is because I have not, and I apologize for. You know what? Give me 1 second. I'll tell you about that. I don't want the dogs barking. I know you guys can hear them. I'm gonna go let them outside. Okay. Back in 30.
No worries. No worries at all. We were actually speaking with you there, Wandering Dutch. Please continue telling us. In addition to the Horizon, which I know you basically own homes in that game at this point, has there been any other games taking you away from Halo? Because I've seen your Halo campaign trailer. I've seen there's a bunch of stuff going on in on your YouTube channel that have been specifically Halo. Has nothing else broken you from Halo?
No,
nothing at all.
Nothing.
Okay.
Nothing at
all.
Then
while Everborn gets situated, tell me what you think of the new progression system. I know that it's changed all of a sudden. Now it's like the first time you play, you get I think 200, and then it starts trickling back as you continue.
Much higher than that, actually. I think. The first time you played something as high as 600 or something for the first game.
Okay.
And it gradually goes down. So for over the first 6 games, you get it's 600, 400, 300.
So it's kind of like they're trying to incentivize you to play at least 6 games a day. Is that the case?
Yeah.
Okay. So
hold on.
Tell me, what do you think?
Yeah,
are those points daily or are they just for the
daily?
Interesting.
Daily.
So the first, basically every day. When I went on the other day, specifically to test it out and see what it was like. I think I went up maybe 4 or 5 levels, and that wasn't really trying. I ended up going through because all of the challenges had refreshed. The challenges were more based on just playing through the game, so it was a lot of easy stuff like melee kills and normal assault rifle kills and capture the flag. I had a one for actually doing the objective, which was capturing the flag and returning the flag, which was good. So it actually forces people to do the objective.
Yeah.
But
so they've changed it specifically for objective based.
Rapidly. Yeah.
It's specifically objective based now. It's not just go around killing people. You get it more for the objective. Basically, what I was asking for.
I've got 2 there that are objective based. One I've got for returning the flag 3 times. So that's obviously if it gets captured and then killing the enemy, and returning it back to your base. And the other one I've got for playing a capture the flag game and winning a capture flag game. So I've got a few objective based ones there already, and I'm guaranteeing they've added a few oddball and things like that in there. So I think the more people that start to get these objective based challenges, the more people will actually play the objective. There are, and then like I say, there's some normal ones there as well, like get 15 assists, get 10 kills, things like that. So some nice easy kind of ones to start you off, and obviously they refresh anyway every week. But you also have, like I say, your daily bonuses anyway for playing 6 games. So, like I leveled up in a couple of hours. I leveled up maybe 4 or 5 times, if not more. And I was quite surprised because normally I'd be lucky if I level up maybe twice on a night, if that.
So I have a few questions behind that. But before I answer that question, 1 hour decision. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, bro.
We appreciate you, sir. Now, Dutch.
Yes.
Has this solved your issues? Because I understand that
my question. Yes.
Right. But you did a very good video explaining what needed to be done to fix the progression system. Now, I did not know that that 300 points for the first match, 200 for the second match, second and third match,
600 for the first one,
600 for the first, 300 for the second and third, 200 for the fourth and fifth.
That is every 24 hours.
Right. Yep. So that's every 24 hours. I did not know. That is super interesting. Now, but you're saying on top of that, you're also getting extra points for playing the game as it was designed.
Yes.
Okay, explain that to me, because I didn't see that in any of the coverage of this.
Yeah, so they've refreshed all the challenges. So the previous challenges we had before that, when they implemented this, were a lot of them were based on some really random things like and not even just things you'd normally do. So repulse somebody into a wall, which would just be sometimes accidental because there's no guarantee there's going to be anybody standing next to a wall. So that requires some coordination, to be honest.
Still think she did those for the bot matches, but
at times
for the bot masters in the group.
Yes,
some of them as well. And here's a little hint for people: if it doesn't have PvP next to the challenge, it means you don't have to do it in online competitive modes. You can actually do it in the training arena.
In the bot matches. Ooh.
Say what now?
Ooh.
If it does not have PvP beside it, you can actually do some of the basic ones in the bot section.
Is that so?
The bot master starts twirling his beard.
Yeah. If it doesn't have PvP next to it, then you can actually
very interesting.
Oh, here you go.
Interesting indeed.
Obviously, the only thing you don't get in the bot section is your daily normal XP for playing PvP matches.
Yep.
So you'll
shame.
Still got to play them. But it doesn't completely solve it because people are still getting their obviously they're still getting challenges for kill 15 people, get 20 assists, etc. So they're still focusing more on the Slayer modes there. The one thing they haven't solved yet is the game modes. They said, and obviously a post came out the other day that said that they're going to be implementing new modes, etc., that are going to be releasing before Christmas, before they go on their winter break. And Slayer is one of them, one of their highest priorities. However, they want to do a Slayer playlist. That'll be coming a little bit later, I think, into the new year. So it's unfortunate because obviously until they have a Slayer-only playlist, then people will continue to get or go for KD over objective, even if the challenge is there, because people are KD whores. They love to get the kill death and they don't care about the objective, regardless of challenge.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, it is a semi fix. It's certainly one that's gonna, and I know a lot of people have, once this fix has come into it, it's helped them progress into the battle pass a lot quicker. And because of that, they've returned to it and said, right, okay, well, it isn't the fix we desperately need, but it certainly suffices for the second. And that's a key one. It suffices until they get on top of it.
Well, let me ask you a question. It does show that
they're listening too, doesn't it? I'm sorry. Go ahead, everyone.
No. So do you think that this stopgap fix gets rolled back after they officially address it? So maybe they're over-awarding points, or you think that's just how it's going to be?
No, it's, this is continuous. This is the fix that they've put into place now with the daily thing is because they've done a lot of data research into how people are playing the game and how many games people are playing. And they said themselves people aren't progressing as fast as they want to based on their data.
But how many games did they think people were going to play at 50 points a clip?
Well, but remember, guys, this is from a game that historically had nothing to do with progression. It was about playing for the fun. And the only progression, quote unquote progression, was I'm playing faster and better in ranked matches so that I'm matched with more higher ranked players. This was never that Call of Duty situation, which, you know, not to belittle Call of Duty. They are doing it the right way where their progression actually unlocks weapons. So there's an actual reason to keep progressing. Whereas Halo's unlock right now beyond ranked, it's just Barbie doll play up, dress up time.
Do you guys think they should tie progression to equipment upgrades, like how you upgrade your equipment in the campaign?
My personal thoughts on the progression in Halo Infinite is that the progression should be variable depending on the game mode. So, for instance, if in the challenges need to match the game modes you're playing, so instead of just locking them, for instance, right now, if you don't have a battle pass, you've got 3 challenges, and you have to finish those challenges to get more challenges. If you have the battle pass, you get 4 challenges. I think progression should be, I think like they did previously, like other game modes have, where you can have an absolute abundance of challenges in the back that you're forever unlocking. So you can continuously unlock them, not just wait for them to come in when you have finished one, but just have a literal, just a page of challenges, and you just progress through them to get to the higher ranked version of those challenges. So for instance, you start off with a 5 kills challenge. The next one up is a 10 kill challenge. The next one up is a 15, and so on and so forth until you max out those challenges. That's what I think needs to be implemented. And then people will either unlock the objective-based ones, or they'll stick to Slayer and just go straight for the KD-based Team Slayer type of objectives, which means that people have freedom to go and play the game modes they want to do and then rank up how they want to rank up, as opposed to being shoehorned into doing certain modes to get XP. For instance, if someone's just all out of KD or Slayer type kill death challenges, then they'll be forced to play into game modes that they don't want to do in order to progress in the game. So you might have someone that hates objective gameplay and they only like Slayer. They're going to be forced
into the progression. I get you.
They're going to be forced at some point to play objective games in order to rank up. And vice versa, someone who really loves competitive team-based objective modes might be forced into playing Slayer matches because that's where the XP is.
But doesn't that run the risk doesn't that run the risk of the issue that we have now where they turn every objective-based thing into a Slayer match because that's just what they like? You know, that runs the risk of continuing that unfortunate issue. Blind Giant, I don't know if you've been in on the Halo multiplayer train as most of us have. Have you been playing it? You think?
I've been dabbling with it, but
okay.
I played a lot of like multiplayer, like CODs and all that back in the day, and it kind of just burnt me out. So I've been kind of staying away from the multiplayer.
So you've been stepping back, waiting for that single player, I suspect.
Yeah. So I mean, I was playing a little bit the other day. It was pretty fun, but as far as the progression system, I haven't put enough time in there to really feel the effects of it. And the struggle of like you guys playing every day and stuff. So
see, and to be honest with you, I actually like that because that's what Halo does. Halo, if you want to engage with the progression system, you can, but it's never been about that, right? And it's almost like that is the unfortunate side effect of modern multiplayer shooters affecting Halo. They're making it important because all of them are important in the modern day, but it was never that important in Halo in the first place. It was all about your skill and getting better. Right. Yeah. And even now that they're affecting those progression systems in there, your benefit is just shinier armor, you know. Well, not even that shiny, you know. There's the dusty samurai Spartan squad that's out there now. You know, yes, I got mine.
The ashy
battle worn, yeah. They look like the ashy Spartans.
You know what's funny though? Like I want my Spartan to look like a Spartan.
I usually keep them green. I usually put the same Master Suit Chief on them.
This is what I'm saying. Like I don't care about the samurai armor. I do want that sword.
The Hayabusa armor is pretty awesome,
but you can't use it. I don't care about that.
Like the one from the ad, the one where he's holding the that is an awesome costume.
I wouldn't have equipped it.
Sure. Okay.
I am going to spend that $9 on that black and blue armor.
Okay.
And then I'm calling it a day.
9?
After that, you're done.
I think that's what's good. Yeah, that's it. I don't need anything else after that. Like, and that will just be my armor for the 10-year plan of Halo. Like they're gonna get $10 from me, and we good.
And you go,
the black and red one looks nice too.
It is beautiful. Yes. And you are a Game Pass Ultimate subscriber. That is like till 2024, a month before me, by the way.
I said,
don't worry, they got your cash.
Because
they got
you. I couldn't. You got to do 3 months at a time. So
you couldn't push any further.
I'm a hold on to the other one, and then I'll be 2 months ahead of you. So we'll see how that goes.
This is what we do, my friends.
Who's to tell you I didn't? I bought it and didn't redeem it yet.
Maybe. Indeed, which you could easily do. I used to do that. I used to like put it in my calendar and I go, in 2024 at this time, redeem this. I used to do
that. By the way, this is public service announcement to everybody with Game Pass. If you are paying $15 a month for Game Pass, I have a bridge to sell you. There's no reason to pay that much. There's several. First of all, if you want to take it to the extreme, you can get it for free by doing those Bing searches and get the Microsoft awards. But if you are like me and you don't have time for all of that shit, you can just wait until they go on sale, because you get these crazy sales like 3 months for $24, right? And then when those happen, I'll re-up for however many months so that I'm already stacked to 3 years, because you know what that does? It hedges against inflation. So they could raise the price on Game Pass.
It'll always be the same price for us for the next 3 years.
Exactly. And I will continue. I continually add a year to it, or however many months I am when a sale comes, just so that I'm never actually paying the $15 a month.
So I will add to what you're saying there and say those Bing searches are ridiculous, but they also rack up pretty easily. Like, so instead of changing my default search to Google, I always search on Bing first, not because I want the points. It's just because I just always leave it at the default. And then I check later and I get a lot. Like, I think my lifetime points is 100 and something thousand points just by searching for something I want.
The tyranny of the default.
Yes, well, but the tyranny of the default pays in this case. You know what I'm saying? So with that, you can use it to buy your points. I know a dude who almost bought an Xbox Series X just off of points alone. You know, so if you're not doing that out there, I'm sorry.
I know a few people that have, and Series X's and headsets and
my consoles, everything, just based off of those points. As long as you're just searching a couple times a day.
My brother is very serious about it. So like everyone in the house, he takes their Microsoft accounts and he's like, give me your login. I'll do the searches, the daily searches for you. He's religious about it. So in the household, we had not like bought a game in years with real money because we were always using the, what do you call it? And then Game Pass came out. And I like for the first like 2 years of Game Pass, I didn't pay anything because I was doing the Bing searches. But then it was like I just started buying it on sale because I wasn't trying to do all of that. But
so, pro tip for those who want to get serious about it. Real quick pro tip. You know that the Edge has this collections where you can basically have a collection of websites that you group together, and then anytime you want to open it, you hit one button and it all opens. You can set up 5 to however many max searches you want, and then every time you want to do the search, you hit that button. It opens them all up, searches them all at the same time. You get all your points in one shot. You could do that every day. You do that every day, you get max points every day. It takes 1 minute to just hit the button. I know people who do that too. I just never bother doing it, but that's an interesting way of getting. I just happen to keep it on default, so I do a lot of searches, and then it ends up, translating into points. But for those who don't have that, even if you don't have an Xbox and you want to test it out, this is a way of getting in the door without necessarily having to take any money out of your pocket to do so. It's a very interesting way that Microsoft is doing it.
What a novel
down a little bit
of looking out for your own wallet and your hard-earned money.
Yeah, but you're being a little salty right now. We'll get to that story. Calm down, bro. He's so busy handing out logic bombs left and right to people. I'm seeing your timeline, bro. You need to calm down. Oh man,
I'm just sprinkling adobo. That's all I'm doing.
Clearly, that's what you're doing. I can see that. You just walk around sprinkling everywhere you go right now. That's just not cool. But all right, let us move swiftly along. Actually, you haven't hit me with what you've been playing this week, sir.
Oh yeah,
I know you've been playing some interesting stuff. Go ahead.
So we talked last week that I finished Halo 5 Guardians again in preparation. So this week I have been trying to get back into a few games that were in the backlog before the onslaught that is Halo Infinite comes out. So I've been playing a little bit of Forza Horizon 5, specifically in the cloud, because that's what I was using to test that clarity boost.
Yeah. How do you think of it?
Okay. On YouTube and on the web and Twitter and people's screenshots and comparison things, I couldn't see it. I was like, this is stupid. Everybody's lying.
When you see it yourself.
Yes, when you see it yourself. Now, what I have not tested yet, and I mean to test this, is if I play this in the cloud through the Game Pass app versus in Edge, is Clarity Boost kind of baked in through the Game Pass app?
It is not yet. Yeah, because even in a regular Edge, you have to use the dev version, the Canary channel version, which is basically nightly builds that are being updated, which tells you that eventually when that feature becomes fully baked in, then it'll transition to the standard Edge, and then I suspect you'll probably see it on the app. But right now, you really have to look for it to find it.
But again, this is like a client-side browser thing, and I don't think the Xbox app is based on Chromium, right?
Yes, it is.
The Xbox app is based on Chromium?
No. I mean, the Xbox
Edge
web browser is.
Yes, Edge is based on Chromium, right? So this is something they're doing with that Chromium engine. So I'm wondering if this is something that, like,
specific
if
to
you
Chromium?
if you go and look at cloud streaming via the Game Pass app on PC, how does it look? Is when you turn on Clarity Boost, does that look better than it does in the Game Pass app? And no one has tested that yet. And
that's not quite clear yet. And I think this is early days for that feature. I know that they're working on parity across the board,
sir.
We'll figure all that out.
You said you wanted to do some tech things. Okay, so there's that.
Yeah, that may be definitely something we should look into. Yeah.
Okay, so been playing that, and then I had been a big fan of the videos that I saw of Chorus during the Xbox presentation.
Tell us about Chorus, bro.
I was unpleasantly surprised that Chorus was not included in Game Pass. right? Because I don't know why, but I had convinced myself that it was. And I remember,
I think the way they showed it gave you that impression, because there was some confusion there too when it was first announced. It was among a bunch of Game Pass apps,
but also I thought it was an exclusive, and then Sony showed the same game, and then it was and then anyway, and then I thought it was a timed exclusive, but no, they both have it, which is fine. Now I am glad that the game itself was not. They didn't charge $60 for it. They charged $40 for it. But I got to be honest with you. I don't think it's a $40 game.
Explain.
If Death's Door is $20.
Yeah, but see, that's a problem. That is a slippery slope, my friend. Some games say 60. Some, it's hard to say because this one is that one.
Playing the game, I don't feel like, and I played it for like an hour, so like,
so that's a decent amount of time, sure.
But playing the game, I just feel like in terms of production value, you never get out of the ship. Right? They say, okay, go meet this person, and then it just cuts to you being back in the ship. Right? It's just like which is fine, right? But even the way it was shown as though it was an arcade style shooter, and I don't think that's not what it is when you play it, right? When you play it, it is more of, and you explain this, so you can explain this better, that it is more like the dogfight scenes in No Man's Sky. So basically,
it's that old school, dogfighting for Star Wars. Right. If you've played those before, that's this. Yeah,
you're in like domes, and you have to. People are shooting at you from literally all directions, every angle, up, down, left, right. Yep. And then when someone's behind you, you have to figure out where they are and get around them.
Use your radar to,
and then boost.
Now, here's my question: do you shoot at your target, or do you shoot ahead of your target in this? Because that'll tell you where the simulation lies. If you're playing a dogfighting game, right, and they're whipping by you, some games you shoot ahead of your target to aim because the bullets will bend, right? Whereas others you shoot directly at.
They're not doing all of that. They're not.
Okay, so it's kind of half in, half out.
This is not Flight Sim, right?
Okay.
This is just the
you don't shoot nobody in Flight Sim, but okay.
You need to shoot people in Flight Sim.
But anyway, I know you want that.
Yes, I need. Then they got the Top Gun expansion right there. But anyway,
true.
Right in there.
Crazy Loot Gaming.
Yes.
Thank you for subscribing to this channel.
Thank you. We appreciate it.
If you would be so kind, I'd also ask you to subscribe
Everborn.
to the Everborn.
Didn't you hit a certain level the other day?
I hit 300 subscribers. Yes.
Hey,
congratulations!
Did you just give me the Nancy Pelosi clap? What are we doing here?
Slow clap.
The golf clap.
Jesus. Oh my God. He just gave me the participation award clap.
The participation trophy award.
Jesus Christ. But again, I do feel like the game is fun, but like I spent the $40 and I'm like, was this worth $40? Not to me anyway. I'm sure some people will like it. And they said, okay, this thing is going to be crazy because it's like ray tracing, 60 frames a second, native 4K.
Yep.
The textures aren't that.
You don't see none of that.
Right? Huh? I don't see that. Like, this is no Kana or Kenna.
Okay.
Kana,
well, yeah, of course not. See, you're comparing games to other games.
I'm comparing it to other. I'm comparing it to comparably priced and
that's
cheaper
a slippery
games.
slope, bro. That is a very slippery slope.
So my point is, I did not have as much fun as Death's Door, and it doesn't look as beautiful as Kana, and it's $40, and that's fine because they already got my money, right? But what I'm saying is, my review is wait for it to come to Game Pass because I think
play a bit more of it and see if it changes your mind. You're only an hour in.
I beg to differ, but the thing is. I like what it's doing, but I just went in there with a different expectation. I wanted to be shooting, like flying forward, shooting people. I wanted it to be more like Star Fox. That is what I thought.
You were hoping for Star Fox, and instead you got No Man's Sky.
Yes, and that is my fault, right? So I don't want to take anything away from the developers. I know that it's a small team and they worked on it for a long time, but I do think the game would do a lot better because I think it's a AA game, but I think $40 is a high asking price for some people, and the game is not as arcadey as you might think. That's that.
Okay.
So I think
do you think the difficulty tweaks with the gameplay might help, like kind of like Forza Horizon, where you can actually tweak it to be more simulator or less? Is there functions there maybe that might help?
I didn't look at any of those. Whenever I play a game, I just play it on whatever the default difficulty settings are and move forward.
Okay.
So I did not look at any of that changing stuff around.
Sure.
I want it
okay.
I want to play things
because I really want to try it, but
except for inversion. You got to
I knew you was going to go there.
But we'll talk about that later. But so the last thing that I am playing, because I played that for an hour and and I want my money back. But
you could get your money back. It's only an hour. Xbox is 4 hours.
I may have to think about it. Well,
you could do that.
Can I do that today? Even because
yes, you can. You can do that 4 hours, or I think 15 days or something like that. If you haven't played 4 hours of it, you could totally.
I definitely have not played 4 hours yet. Okay, so next, I decided that I'm going to go back to Guardians of the Galaxy, which I am on. I just completed stage 4, so I don't know how many stages there are.
Is that game not excellent?
It's great. It's great.
That's an excellent game.
I've seen people say that it was better than Spider-Man 2018. It is not.
It is. You just haven't gotten to the whole thing. It is.
Everborn. The dunk is £25, so it'll be about $30.
There you go.
Perfect price. Is it not in Game Pass?
Well, it's in Game Pass, so it's free $99 for us.
Okay, I got to look out for my investment, right?
That's right.
But I would buy the gunk. Even if this was $29.99, I think that's the right price for Chorus. It is not a bad game. It just feels like 40 is a bit much for what it's offering.
I suspect you're just not a fan of this type of dog fighting air combat kind of game, and because of that, that's what's giving you probably a bad vibe. Because I've heard others who are fans of this kind of game, like I think shout out to Pong Soul. I heard him talking about it this morning.
Magnum also is a big fan.
Yeah, who was raving about it, because if you're a fan of that genre, you know what to expect with the flight controls, and beyond that, they really like the story. They really like what was happening there. So I think you just might not be a fan of that type of control scheme, which is not a problem. You know, you either dig it or you don't. You know, it's not.
But see, that's the other thing. The story makes me feel like I want her to get out of the ship. The story doesn't feel like it's the story for a dogfighting shooter game. Like if you had certain levels, it feels like this is like one of those side levels in a Star Wars game where you get in the X-Wing, right? But I want to be able to get out of the ship based on that story, because it is very interesting. And Gabe, I play all my multiplats on Xbox. So if we're talking about a multiplat, it's going to be on Xbox, but exclusive. Yes. The PS5 is the exclusive machine. But Guardians of the Galaxy, very good. And if you've noticed, and I don't know if you have this as a topic, I have been sharing clips in a new way on Twitter. Can we talk?
We don't have it as a topic. We don't have it as a topic, but we can actually transition to that topic, right? We can transition to news, and we can talk about that real quick right now, because that is very interesting. I think we are seeing the fruits of that online video editing purchase that Microsoft made a couple months ago already coming to fruition. Go ahead and speak on that a little bit.
Okay, so I got an app update I use an iPhone, and the Xbox app says new way to share your game clips. Just get a link that you can copy and share to wherever you want. And I didn't pay any attention to it, right? But then I was like, let me share this clip, of course. Now, normally in the app, you share, there's some supported apps, which is weird because Twitter is not one of them. So if you want to share the Twitter from the app, you have to download the clip and share it yourself. And there was some fake narrative controversy about that, because
No, giving it the air.
I'm
Come
just
on,
saying,
man.
People were saying that, you didn't share it from your console, so this could be a suspect. You could be sharing somebody else's gameplay. Blah blah blah.
Too ridiculous.
Right?
Come on.
So
God.
Cool. That was the nonsense they were saying, right? And that completely stopped as soon as the PlayStation app allowed you to share from the PS app. But like so many things with these narratives, as soon as one side does it, then it's all good and we have normal conversations about it. But anyway,
Right.
So now, if you've shared gameplay clips from Xbox, you know that the capture quality is many times compressed when you download it to your phone.
Twitter that does it. Twitter really like crushes everything and just makes it ugly.
Right. So that being said, now in the Xbox app, when you go to look at a clip, there's a share option, but on top of the share option, there is a copy link option. So you can download it still, or you can just copy the link, and you can when you paste the link into Twitter, it'll show it. You'll have your thumbnail. That's your clip right there. It shows you get your own special link so that everyone can see that clip, and it's like xbox.com/play, and then your name, your gamer tag. Because I know there are some people that don't want to share their gamer tag, so maybe they won't do that. But like you can share the clip instead of locally downloading it to your phone, and it brings up a video player. It's probably hosted by Azure, and you get a little bit higher quality. And I know that they had purchased a company recently that does this. Video it's like a clip sharing company,
Clip Champs or something like that. Yeah.
And Kay Asante, you were saying this is the early. This could be the early. Yeah. What do you call it?
Yeah.
So it could be that you'll be able to edit this thing online soon.
Yep. Give them time. Yep.
But right now you can just all your clips that you've had before are Godfather, right? So they're just posting a link to them with the thumbnail. Looks really official. I shared gameplay of Chorus and Guardians of the Galaxy with this. It is really cool. And one more narrative dead. You got to stomp them out like roaches.
No, I haven't gotten a chance to try it out yet. Have any of you guys tried this out yet? The first time I saw it was when Everborn posted his video on it. It's pretty intriguing.
First.
Yes, you were the first, good sir. You were the first. It's pretty intriguing. I'm looking forward to I'll get more excited when you start editing things online, really tweaking stuff online. Say what you will about the PlayStation's platform, and I have problems with their platform as far as infrastructure, but they've always been very good at letting you edit really in-depth stuff right on the console.
And they've standardized it or made it a requirement for photo mode and all their first-party games.
All that stuff. So
which gives people the impression that games have better graphics than they actually do, and it is a great marketing tool that they will do for you for free. But for some reason, they don't. It's not a huge priority on the green.
But yeah, so I'm looking forward to them, really taking it there. Shout out to ILP when Jason Ronald came on. He basically vocalized the fact that we hear you, we need to do better, and they're going to do better. So we appreciate that. So okay. Let us move along and talk more about some more of the news stories of the week, because it's been an interesting week, right? We thought that there was going to be just a little bit of here, a little bit of news there, but it's turned out to be some interesting stuff. And I know everybody wants to talk about the Sony thing, and we'll get there. I want to get there, but at first I kind of want to get some opinions on some of these interesting little side things that have come up. And first and foremost, I want to show Everborn this right here. This is so far been spoke about for the PS5, but it looks like they're having, just like I was hoping they would, because remember, when the Matrix showed up the last time, it came with a game. It came with 2 games and an MMO. It looks like they're dipping their toe back in again, this time on Unreal Engine 5 for the PS5. What do you think, good sir?
It seems like I'm going to have to dust off the behemoth.
Hey, you weren't here for that. I dusted mine off because of Solar Ash. We'll talk about that later at some point. You should try that game. It's interesting.
I'm all about all things Matrix, and
as am I.
Once this is ready, and I can't wait till Monday when I could get those IMAX tickets for the 22nd. I got to see that opening day. I'm taking the day off of work for that one too.
Nice.
Back in 17 years or 18 years, because it was 2021. Very excited, man. Very excited.
As am I. As am I. This is either a very dreadful make or break moment, because this will either ruin the legacy of the Matrix or it'll continue to soar high.
It will be literally a resurrection or a funeral.
or a funeral,
right? Because you will never get another Matrix movie if this doesn't do well. And this is why, like, at first I was apprehensive about this because I'm like, look, how do you do something that transformative again? And I was afraid it's really just going to be another action movie without all the other layers that made the Matrix the Matrix. But now I'm like, listen, if it gets us more entries in the franchise and they can expand the world from this, I hope it does $1 billion. It's not, but I hope that it does well enough. Like, I don't even care if they made this PG-13, like, do it. Like, just, I want more because I think Star Wars has failed us and the Matrix has always been my Star Wars. So I really want this to do well. And I don't give a crap which ecosystem this game is in or experience is in. I'm playing it there without hesitation. Because that's
welcome, Mag. I see the mag is in the spot. Welcome, good sir. Thank you so much for checking this out. Yes, indeed, it is dope, and we are looking forward to it. Now,
I don't discriminate on platforms. I don't discriminate on exclusives, but I just have a preference of where I play my multiplayer.
Sure, of course, and I want to use this as a cheap plug to say you will hear far more about the Matrix when it drops, and even before it's about to drop on the real
you won't be
on Everborn Saga's channel. Yes, on Everborn Saga's channel. We may have one or two more before the end of the year because we're going to go on hiatus for the new year, but we will definitely be strong, come back with the Matrix. You will hear a lot of Matrix talk.
I was actually thinking of doing a special episode for the Matrix, but we'll talk about that. There you go.
We'll talk about that later, but make sure you subscribe to Everborn Saga channel. When we do on the real, we will talk Matrix. You'll be able to catch it there. Blind Giant, what do you think, sir? Are you a Matrix person? Does this excite you? I know you're not a PS5 owner, but it won't stay there forever. You know, at some point it'll come out to the masses. What do you think?
I mean, just from reading this, well, I like the Matrix movies are awesome. I just watched. I've been going through the series again. I watched Reloaded yesterday.
Isn't it so much better than people try to say it is?
Yeah,
it absolutely is.
All those movies, I love them, man. They're good. I seen this and I was thinking, oh, nice, you know, PlayStation's gonna get something good. But then I was looking at it, how it says an Unreal Engine 5 experience.
Yeah.
So is this a tech demo? You know what I mean? Are they just gonna show off some stuff? Maybe like
it'll be an Unreal tech demo, 100%.
I think this is more like Animatrix, kind of like how they used Advent Children's engine to make the last Animatrix. You know, the first small little 5-10 minute blurb on Animatrix. They used that engine. This might be Unreal 5's version of that, but still, it's more Matrix, and I'm there for it day one.
Yes.
Like I'm gonna be there. How about you, Dutch? What do you think?
100%. I think it's I liked the original trilogy. I'm not like a mega fan like a lot of people. I liked it. I mean, it's aged well. The story's good. Obviously, everyone knows
it's gotten better with time. Yes.
Yeah.
Like fine wine, baby.
I'm always a fan, specifically in this type of series. I'm always a fan of the origin, the first of the series, because it's the origin, how they came to be. It's always intriguing watching them go into the Matrix for the first time and come across it. A bit like you might remember I think another one called Wanted. I think it was
Wanted, of course. Yes,
Angelina Jolie, where he's like
where they're bending bullets. Yeah, of course.
And that origin story of him coming to fruition and things like that, and like in the Matrix where he's learning the powers and things for the first time, that's always the most intriguing of the bunch for me. And I think, of course, getting another experience in Unreal will be interesting. Of course, as much as they say leaked for PlayStation 5, it's going to be over YouTube. It's going to be on Xbox.
It's going to be everywhere. It's going to be everywhere.
Of course it is. Yeah, they can't. They're not going to limit. They're not going to limit movie tie-ins to a platform. That's
Although I do see why PlayStation gets the first bite at the apple. You know, Sony's out there in the game, in the movie space, pushing hard and well deserved. You know, they've been hitting some things out of the park. So I get that, but I do expect it eventually. Your PC, all your consoles, you'll probably be able to get that, unless you have a Nintendo Switch, in which case,
what is nice about this one, though, and I've said that since since I've seen the trailers and things, is bringing back the vast majority of the original cast. I think is good to see.
It's still a travesty that we don't see anybody from no Lawrence Fishburne, but I'll just move on with that one. That's more on the real talk. Forgive us. Yeah, it is what it is.
I mean, Carrie Ann Moss and Keanu Reeves been keeping in shape.
True. And it looks like maybe Lawrence wasn't up for that regimen anymore. I can
roll him into the set.
Roll him into the set. Okay, we'll stop that. So we have 3 more interesting topics, but I know we want to get to Sony. Let's quickly touch on this real quick. There is a bill, and I saw this and I thought this was super interesting. There is a bill making its way through the U.S. Congress that, if successful, will stop scalpers from using scalping tools. So there will be no more snipers out there getting all your Xbox mini fridges with 2 seconds before the thing goes live.
I'm telling you right now, I don't know if you've paid attention to how the Congress works.
Oh, but let's not go down that road. I'm talking about the ideal here.
If you think anything like this is going to get passed with these guys, like I
will say, and I know I knew where you were going with it, and I would be there with you as well. And what's up, Bounty? Good to see you in the show. Thank you so much for checking us out. If under normal circumstances, I'd be with you on that, except the fact that the people who basically put this bill out are the same who did so for shows and tickets, Ticketmaster and all that, and that bill has passed. You no longer are allowed to do that.
Cool, but those people go to Broadway's plays. These people, the same people, have zero interest in video games.
No, but you don't understand. It's the technology itself. The technology that was used for scalping tickets early, right, have now been cut, and they're using the same verbiage of that bill to basically cut that technology from being used. I'm just picturing
a certain network saying that this is going to stifle capitalism, and
who cares what that network says?
The opposition network. Sure.
No, I get that, but it's the same thing they said when tickets were coming out, and it's still passed.
Okay. Yeah, but it's because they wanted to, they were self-interested because
I get it. Okay. So because everyone would be equally affected, and they all were pissed at the fact that they can't get their tickets, so they let it slide. But since they don't care about video games, they're gonna fight the fight.
Yes. Or they're gonna stop it in its tracks. But we'll see.
Interesting. Okay. But you know what? I think it's an ideal, it may not get anywhere, but hey, at least someone somewhere is looking at this and going, hey, this got to stop. So I thought I'd bring it up real quick.
Yeah, right? Because their kids were asking them for a PS5 all year, and they're like, I'm a damn Congress person.
Yep.
Why can't I get this thing? They couldn't get it, and they're like, I'm going to make a bill.
Indeed.
I'll be happy if it goes somewhere, but it's not.
So let's move quickly along here, and I will ask what you guys think of this. Now, I'm sure everybody has spoken about it because of, what do you call it? DICE Battlefield didn't hit all the notes that they needed it to hit. It didn't come out perfect. I think 4 million people are playing it right now, but it didn't hit the best as it should. And long story short, I come to this story thinking this is the Zampellification of EA. He's taking over everything. What do we think? Good or bad? I'll start with you there, Blind Giant.
I think it's good. I mean, their launch came out and it wasn't very good. I played the beta when it came out, and I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna wait on this game. I'll wait for a sale, or I'll wait for the patches to go through, because I know it's just a beta, but my screens are shaking the whole time, and it just didn't feel good to me. So I think it's good if they can revamp and get on track. They'll probably save the game. It's still really early.
Okay. So the idea that now Zampella is taking over and moving it forward, I actually thought that was an intriguing idea, because every time Zampella has touched something, it seems to be gold for EA. And now they're just going, all right, man, you can go ahead and have. He seems to be the anti-EA guy, even though he's in EA. They say Frostbite. He said, screw that, I'm using Unreal. And then he's successful. He's the guy that just goes, nope, I'm doing me. And you guys can shut up because here's the money. And he seems to always be that guy. What do you think of it, boy?
So I've seen people suggest like maybe they're teeing him up to run the whole thing, but I don't know. Because like being the CEO of this thing, it's a lot more than that, right? Like, so a lot of people thought Kevin Feige was going to run Disney. No, he's not. Kevin Feige is a creative. He knows how to produce films. That doesn't mean you know how to run that multinational conglomerate that is Disney, with the parks and the toys and the TV stations and advertisers and things like that. So I do like the idea that, and I'm just using movie references to frame this, but I do like the idea of Vince Zampella basically, potentially becoming the Alan Horn of EA, to kind of oversee all of their game projects and kind of do what he sees right, and have a steady hand from someone who has been at all those levels, as opposed to the guy that's there now. What's the guy's name that people want? I can't remember his name now. The guy at EA
that they want to get rid of.
Oh, wow, I'm an idiot. I'm confusing everything. Okay. No, but I do want him to run things.
Okay. So
right?
He seems to be batting 1,000 these days. So why not add another thing?
How far do you think his media rises?
See, and that's where you're saying he's not a creative. He's a creative. Let him continue to do that. I actually think he could necessarily, one of these days, the board could vote and put him in the spot, right? Because every time he goes against
the whole thing,
every time he goes against the EA grain, he comes up with gold against the EA grain. Like, for a long time there, he was the only studio that was allowed to not use Frostbite, and his games alone were successful while everybody else was falling all over themselves. Yeah. And he has that very much, we're doing what we do kind of mentality. Y'all can keep doing it. I'm a part of y'all, but I'm doing me. That's very much his mentality in this.
Let me ask you another thing about this whole Battlefield thing, and I don't know if you have this as a separate topic. You probably don't. They're talking about adding story elements.
Yes,
and a universe. How hilarious is that? After they sold us a $70 game with no story at all, and now they're like, "No, we're going to go and do story now," and then charge you another $70 for that.
Yeah, no, I hear you. I hear you. See, but that's Zampella, right? He basically put the ties that bind into COD, right? So even though he left COD and COD has kind of faltered since then, he used to really, really thrive on that idea of story with multiplayer. So maybe this is his influence trying to bring it back. What do you think?
I mean, no, I think they are trying to cash in, but it feels like, yeah. I mean, Titanfall 2 had a great single player campaign.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So I don't know if they're going to bring some of that kind of.
Mm-hmm. Maybe that's the energy they're trying to go for. Yeah.
Great, but I don't know. They gave up on story for Titanfall, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that kind of evolved.
Well,
into Apex,
they didn't give up. They didn't give up story. They're basically kind of doing it like League of Legends now, where story is the back frame for the multiplayer, and they're doing great cutscenes and stuff. But many of us don't like that because we want that actual Titanfall back. They're growing the universe without the actual Titans. Even though it's a Titanfall universe.
And this is why I think Halo. This is Halo's in on top of it being fun and being played more than all these other games.
So Everborn, I'm calling an audible real quick. I need to step away because I have a quick emergency that I think I need to pay attention to.
Okay.
I will let you drive the story and I will be right back because I know you want to talk about this one anyway. So I'll be right back.
I do. Okay. Go ahead. Okay. So I'm gonna ask you guys this first, and then I will come in. But PlayStation this is from Jason Schreier, the deep throat of the gaming industry.
Yeah.
I don't know how I don't know why. I don't know why anyone talks to him about anything because he just keeps breaking these stories. Like I mean, I guess they want it to get out, right? But PlayStation plans new service to take on Xbox Game Pass. So what they're doing is they're effectively going to merge PlayStation Plus and PlayStation Now, and it will not be day and date yet. But the focus, and there will be a tiered approach, and there will be a focus on using this as a way to put together legacy titles, kind of like how Nintendo has their online package that gives you all access to all those games, which is basically the evolution of PlayStation Now. There will be a streaming component, which I think will be powered by Azure when they roll this thing out. That's the deal that they have with Microsoft. And I have some technical questions about that I will ask in a moment. But it will also include some PlayStation 5 titles in the top tier. So I suspect they will. This is not in the article, but I suspect they will do a standardized windowing system to where, all right, we're going to do our big bang release, and then 3 or 6 months later, it will come in the service. So if you want to buy it day one, or you want to wait X amount of time, it'll be in the service. And I suspect that window will shorten and shorten until they have day and date. But Dutch, what do you think about this? And are you excited that we will finally be able to have rational conversations about subscription services and how they will benefit the industry and not destroy it?
Rational conversations?
Well, I've been seeing my fair share of meltdowns, but I'm gonna get into that when I speak my piece on this.
Yes.
What do you think about this whole thing?
Great, awesome. We've been saying it since the beginning. They already have a service that they're not utilizing correctly or fully. PS Now is essentially
talking rational conversation. Anyway. I don't mean to bust in.
Yeah,
I'll just put this right here. You keep talking about your rational conversation. Go ahead.
Yeah, rational, irrational. But PS Now has been there for a long time. They've got the technology to be able to use it properly. They should just at this stage just rename PS Now anyway, and I think that's probably what you'll end up doing. Their version of, or Spartacus as it's known, their version of Game Pass is what we said it should be all along. Just combine PS Plus and PS Now into one. Much like Xbox did with Ultimate, it combined Gold with the new Game Pass. And obviously now you've got and you still do to this date. You still do have Game Pass for PC, and then Ultimate, which combines everything. Which is exactly what they're going to be doing.
Same tiered approach. Yep.
Same 3-tiered approach. Exactly what they'll be doing. Of course, not day one yet, but Xbox wasn't also day one at the start. It was, we'll get to that stage when we have things to put in it. They need to build up their user base first, and their user base need to get used to it first. Which is to be expected, but I guarantee once this is out in the wild, a year and a half, 2 years down the line, you will see day and date into this, because the subscription model will be high enough.
Here's a problem with it as well.
Yeah.
The closer it becomes to a Game Pass-like service, the more of an eye on the comparison of the offerings will become. So if 100%. You tell me this is a service that is like Game Pass, but it doesn't offer day and date, now you have to start looking at this service and say, wait, hold on a minute. Why am I paying you for this when across the pond they're doing day and date? And it almost feels like it will devalue what they are trying, the rebrand they are trying to do.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Because this is not anything huge. This is, if you don't add day and date, this is really just the okie doke, right? They're gonna take a service that nobody's on. It's like 3 million subs.
But then at the same time, and this is a one for them, and it's already devaluing their service anyway. But we've just seen Godfall, whatever it is, edition drop in, and it's just a slice of the game. Then they force you to get the rest. If you haven't seen that already, Godfalls went into PS Plus, but it isn't
It's not the whole thing, is it?
It's
I
not the whole
thought it
thing.
was the whole thing.
You know,
it is endgame. Your max character and the actual campaign is not included.
I am old enough to remember a time when people were upset that Game Pass was offering early access to games, and I was told that you're paying to access demos, and that is a terrible thing. And here we are now. They're putting Godfall into this thing with no campaign and just the multiplayer.
It's just endgame, yeah. It is endgame, and your max level as well. So they max level the character, put you endgame against the bosses, and don't give you the actual campaign before you get to those bosses. You only play some
very
random
odd
modes.
Marketing campaign. Very odd marketing campaign.
It makes no sense.
This is the problem. Like, if you can't, and I think Slow-Mo's agreeing with me that they will standardize the window, right? So, hey, new titles, you got to wait 6 months, then they'll go into service. And EA is doing that right now, but EA Play was not like really a big thing. I don't think, you guys can correct me if I'm wrong, until they included it in Game Pass, right? Like, how many people are signed up for Uplay Plus? Right? So again, I don't know how successful they can be with it. And I think that this makes it
no lies detected. No lies.
We agree. It is.
It's true, but it's
right. But how? Like Everborn, I think agrees with me here as well. It's not just the fact that it's trash; it's the fact that even if it is trash, why are you cutting it into segments?
No, but I'm saying it's trash, and you have the nerves to split up a trash game to put in the service. Like, I'm getting, nobody's gonna go and get that campaign.
Nope.
You. This is like, you know what? I'm not gonna say it. This is like a ugly guy with no job, no personality, saying he wants to go and date Rihanna, right? You don't get to do that.
Yeah.
Right? You don't get to say this is what you want. You only gonna get the multiplayer. No, you are Godfall. You should be lucky that I will even play the campaign, much less telling me I'm gonna buy it later. But anyway. Here's the thing, right? So I do think that them merging the services, and honestly, at the time when they tried to raise the price on Xbox Live Gold, my position was that they should have just gotten rid of the paywall for playing games online, and then said everybody that now has Gold is dead, but now you're automatically updated to Game Pass, and you can use it for as long as you had your Gold subscription, and you don't have to renew at the end because you're going to be able to play online for free. And then now you would goose the numbers, and most people don't cancel these subscriptions. And if you that way they could have had 50 million people in Game Pass at the blink of an eye. So I do think it's a good idea, but I don't think anybody was using PlayStation Now. And don't worry, I'm going to talk about the hypocrisy in a minute. I know people were here for a little bit of slander, but again, like it is good that they are doing this and standardizing around this, but they are literally saying tier 3 is for demos and streaming the online library of PS1.
Remember when people used to talk so badly about demos being on Xbox? Oh boy, I remember those.
I remember the podcasts and spaces dedicated to how this is wrong and this is going to kill the industry. And now it's logical. And now I'm seeing people. This is a thing. People are saying, I'm just glad it's not day and date. I need somebody to make that make sense. Why would you be glad that this service that you are paying for with your hard-earned money does not offer you the same value or more?
Let me ask you real quick. So when you heard people say they're glad it's not day and date, did they add an explanation as to why in their heads?
Yes. Well, I mean,
clearly it doesn't make any logical sense, but what do they think?
They said because look at the quality. Right? They said, look at the quality that you get from PlayStation versus the quality of Xbox. And they said the games on Xbox, the quality is bad because of Game Pass. Except that supposition does not work, because if your complaint is the quality of Xbox games, that was not due to Game Pass.
Yeah,
because Game Pass is a new occurrence. And you could argue that since Game Pass has released, I don't know, if you look at the Game Award nominations, Xbox Game Studios have 20 nominations versus 11 from PlayStation, right? How many their Metacritic scores have been averaging upwards, right? They're trending up. And that is as the subscription service grows. So you cannot say that you cannot empirically say that the subscription service is degrading the quality. And now Sony is literally telling you that tier 3 is going to get you extended demos. Oh, you know what? I forgot. The demos are paid for. You're right. And it is this big conspiracy, right? So and all of the people that have been talking about Metacritic scores and Game Pass fodder and 60 Metacritic Xbox games and Game of the Year nominations, all of that now.
The Warriors have been told that they are now allowed to use their logical minds. Yes.
But no. It is a big conspiracy. Oh. Because all those people that shared those metrics, now that the metrics are not in their favor, now they're shills. Now it's payola. Now, Xbox fans who were jilted during the Xbox One generation have infiltrated the industry in order to prop up Xbox to make them look good. And anybody that says they like Deathloop didn't really like it. It's because they felt pressure from big bad Microsoft, and they might lose access. So it's not that Forza deserved a 92. It's because it's a conspiracy, and they don't believe that, because the only people that make 90 meta games is obviously Sony and by happenstance Nintendo, but that doesn't count because that's for the kids. So really, a world we're living in the upside down. So you do have to take that into account. Now, again, the thing that is bothering me is that people are wondering why we are getting nickel and dimed in terms of microtransactions and in terms of raising the base price of games and in terms of releasing buggy games. And that is because they're taking the pulse of the people, and they're watching consumers saying, yes, please, I'll have another, right? Because again, you can dig your hand in my pocket as long as you tell me I'm better than those Xbox guys. And that is an analogy basically what people something are doing else right that Lyndon B. Johnson said, but we can leave that for
we'll leave that one
something else
for the non-PG-13 podcast. Yes.
Now again, what the point is, I am watching people saying, I am glad that you are going to give me less, and I'm going to pay more for it. And I only ask this: do you love what you love because you love it, or because it is what is on offer? Right? People are looking at a business model and saying, this is my favorite company, and this is the way they're doing it, so that's the way it has to be done. And how many times was something never going to happen, and then it happens, and then you now have to rationalize it? So we can do this. Yes. We can believe in generations. We could believe games are never coming to PC. We could believe that window is never going to shrink. We could believe that subscriptions are going to destroy the industry. We can say that we don't want to have value in these subscription services that we pay for. So they'll never go. They will Spider-Man, Ragnarok, Gran Turismo, Horizon, those are going to be only next gen until guess what? They're cross gen, right? And then we can say these games are never coming to PC. God of War never come to PC. Where we at, right? It's not about it's all of these microtransactions, and it's about system sales. And then the CEO of Sony comes out and says, no, it's about monthly active users. And so all of these definitive statements about things, and it's like, oh, I want Xbox to compete, and look at the reviews, look at the quality, and then you see the other guys get higher reviews, get more nominations, and now the fight is fixed. So my question is, how many times do we have to do this?
That is a good question. Oh, before I want to hear what Blind Giant thinks about all this. Before I do, I see there are 44 people in here. Thank you guys for coming to check out the program. Please hit the like button. Please subscribe if you haven't. We're trying to grow the channel as much as we can, and we appreciate you coming to check us out. Now,
I'm gonna need you to quit that rant, by the way. I'm just saying.
I will, brother man. I will. Now, I'll throw this to you, Blind Giant. But before I do, let me say this is another aspect of it: the whole get access to your older games thing. And people are excited about it.
Nobody play old games.
Boom goes the dynamite. I was going there.
There you go.
But here's my thing, right? Even if you're taking an earnest view of the situation and going, oh, we finally get our virtual console, if you will, right? Do you think you live in a world where these virtual games will look anything better than they did on PS1? I am the biggest Siphon Filter fan. I want that series back, but I can't play Siphon Filter today. I have a retro consoles that can literally play it as it is today, unless it's on like an old ass like CRT TV. It just looks like something I can't say on this podcast right now.
Of course you can.
We know damn well that there'll be no upscaling, up-resing, because they don't have the infrastructure for it. They don't. Right? Xbox does, but the reason why Xbox does is because they do something very unique to Microsoft. They literally create virtual consoles in the cloud. Well, they create the virtual console, then they put it in the cloud, so they can literally play with the hardware without touching code. And you can't touch code that's old, because the minute you touch it, you have to now ask permission from everybody and their mother if you're allowed to do that. Some of these games no longer have publishers. They no longer have developers. You don't have the ability to go and ask this team or that team if you're allowed to go up-res their old game, right? So that's why Xbox is taking the very unique position of doing it. They're editing their actual virtual hardware and making the software shine because of it. Are we going to be in a world where we're eager to pay extra money for games that look like butt on 4K screens? Like really, really bad on 4K screens? I will throw it to you there, Blind Giant. In general, what do you think of all this PlayStation subscription stuff, and how do you feel about it? Will this entice you to run out and try and find a PS5? How do you feel?
Well, I mean, my plan eventually is to get a PS5.
Okay.
I'm just kind of waiting. I just got this PC, and with more games coming from PlayStation onto PC, I might just chill on it for a minute. But I think it's great that for those Sony fans, especially that love their old games. Like I used to play PlayStation 1 all the time. Like I didn't get onto Xbox till 360. So I didn't even have the original Xbox. I was on PlayStation, and then I made the transfer over. But I think it's awesome to me because since I've got Game Pass, I love it. I have all these games I can play. Old games, even if they don't look as good, if you want to go back and get that nostalgic feeling, you can. You know what I mean? I mean, just to play like a couple missions. I'm not saying beat the game because I know it's hard to go back and play those games. I've tried. But I think it's good. And I hope that the PlayStation guys just really open their minds to it because they're going to be saving a lot of money. Your pockets will thank you. You know, your wives, your spouses, whatever you have.
I thought we were supposed to support the devs. I'm sorry.
I mean, I know for Game Pass, the devs are getting something from Xbox, right? So they're getting paid.
Right.
And,
you know?
exactly. So I'm assuming PlayStation will probably do the same, to ask guys to bring their games on, or if it's going to be just all their exclusives only, then it's going to miss out on a bunch of stuff. But Sony has such good titles and such good software. But yeah, I mean, I think it's good, and I hope like the narratives just they keep changing, and everybody just going to keep moving the goalposts and this and that. It's like, come on, guys, at some point, let's just enjoy gaming, and let's just freaking. We don't need all the arguments and all this stuff, you know? It's like, we're here. We love what we do. Let's play some games. And I can't wait to see what this is going to be like.
I wholeheartedly agree. And I appreciate your earnest approach. You don't slither into the pit with the snakes. I appreciate that. That's very, very good of you. Dutch, how much do you think we'll end up having to pay for these? As you've seen, there are 3 tiers. There's the demo tier. There's the existing games tier. 3 tiers of this stuff. Where do you think this will fall? Will this be competitive from price perspective?
Standardizing charging for demos. Just think of all the spaces.
Hey, you're the one who coined the a-hole tax. This is a progression of that. You know what I'm saying? What do you think?
Tier 3, are they gonna lock voiceovers and DualSense to it?
Yeah. You gotta pay the extra $10.
Okay.
I don't think it'll be competitive in terms of. I don't see a world in which PlayStation can afford to charge only what is UK $10.99 or $15 for their service. I don't see a world in which they can afford to do that from a financial perspective. At the end of the day, and people have to just grin and bear it on the extremist side of PlayStation fans, not the actual ones with their head screwed on. But the two parent companies that own them are in vastly different financial states than the other, and they have to remember that. People like to say, "Oh, Xbox is different to Microsoft." It's not now, because Xbox is now the whole gaming division for Microsoft. It is one entity. It isn't 2 separate entities anymore. It is one singular entity. Xbox is not just a platform. It is a service. The entire thing. On the PlayStation side, that is exactly the way that they're going. Hence the rename to PlayStation Studios, not just PlayStation. They are going to be an entity within Sony. Their parent companies, one is far more financially secure than the other. One of them can afford to do X, Y, and Z. The other cannot initially. So there is 2 separate ways. PlayStation, for that reason specifically, will probably look to charge at least another $5 per month more than the opposition. It'd probably be around about the $20 per month, if not maybe a smidge higher for the 3 tier.
Day and date?
I don't even think that would include
$20 a month?
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, that would be something.
But listen. Hey, at least they're not giving me my money's worth. I'm happy about that because, I gotta support, right?
So salty, bro. So salty.
They give me so much ammo for the console wars. I'm happy to pay extra for that.
Now, what about this? Quick weird aside. What about Crunchyroll gets thrown in just because they can?
I was thinking about that.
Other aspects of the Sony business.
Crunchyroll's already included with Game Pass, but yeah, sure. Why not?
No, stop it.
Crunchyroll,
they gave you a demo. They gave you like a 30-day trial.
An extended demo.
Extended, exactly. This would be, it gets added to a tier. Hey, tier 3, you get all the benefits of 1 and 2 plus Crunchyroll added at a monthly fee.
I don't see that in any of these tiers right here. So now you're talking about $25 a month. But go ahead.
But what I'm saying is they test the waters with these tiers. They recognize that maybe those zealot PlayStation fanboys are not as lucrative as we thought they were. So now it's time to sweeten the pot. And then they add, because day and date today is not feasible for them, so to speak, right? They've already come out there and talked about the money and all of that. So in order to entice folks to maybe sign up, they add more parts of the business to it. Maybe a library of movies. Who knows?
They've come out and they talked about this. They can't afford to do this and they can't afford to do that. They definitely also said that they believe in generations. and they definitely also said who wants to play old games, and they've said a lot of things, and they definitely said they wanted to grow organically.
While they were buying studios left and right. Yes.
So just because they said that they couldn't sustain that, why does everyone give them the benefit of the doubt?
Well, the reason why that
people that say whatever is convenient to them at the time, and then people go and run with it.
But I think the reason why that specific point is usually kind of taken at face value is because you can see their pockets. They're a publicly traded company, and when they say they can't afford it, you can see they can't afford it because they make big budget games, and they're not the Microsoft that can eat the cost on big budget games, which Microsoft can. So that's where I think the differences lie.
All of those big budget games, they are double dipping into them to sell you them again with new stories.
Sure.
As full games.
Yep.
And that is so they are amortizing that cost over 2 games. So those game budgets are not as big as we like to claim them to be.
Yeah.
Right.
Because like Ragnarok will be not even a quarter of the budget that the original God of War was, because they're reusing a bunch of assets. They're just continuing the same storyline.
Which is fine.
Which is perfect. Yeah.
Anything wrong with that.
That's there's nothing detrimental about that. That's a smart move. I think more should do that.
They use the Halo 3 assets when they gave us ODST and Reach. Right.
Sure. Yeah.
So there's nothing wrong with that, and anybody's saying there's something wrong with that, whatever.
No,
but
I agree with that. Yeah.
But the fact is, right? They may have spent $100 million or whatever it costs to make God of War, but now they didn't have to spend that to make the next one because a lot of that stuff is built out,
prepackaged,
right? So and the same thing, whatever they spent on Ghost of Tsushima, they just sold you it again as Iki Island, and then they just sold you a direct.
I have not bought that, by the way.
Right? And then they sold you Miles Morales on the same. So which means that they're getting a good bang for their buck, and they will continue to do that. And it's actually super genius. So let's not pretend that they're not out here. That they can't do it, because there are 50 million PlayStation Plus subscribers who are already giving them $5 a month, right? So if they did a Game Pass like service, all they're doing, they want to convert those guys, and they're going to get a little more. So they have income, they have this, and they're making $26 billion in revenue from the PlayStation in a year.
Yeah,
and you're telling me that they can't.
But remember, unlike Xbox, unlike Microsoft, they need PlayStation. PlayStation's basically their bread, their cash cow at this point. Their movie business is doing good. I'm not saying it's not, but if PlayStation were to drop today, that movie business would not be sustainable. They unlike Xbox, where they could make it, it's great. If they lose money, it's just a side project, if you will.
I don't want to get into the idea of saying that other parts of the businesses are sustainable.
Well, but that is well documented. Like and when that was initially documented, it was more of a problem because at that time their movie business wasn't doing so hot. It has gotten much better since then, right? But still, PlayStation is the tip of the spear for Sony. That is well known. They make TVs, they're not doing so hot. They make phones, no one buys their phones. Like it's fact.
By the way, you know what's one of their biggest revenue generators? They sell life insurance in Japan.
Okay. So there you go. There you go. Yeah, they sell lenses. Again, their lens tech is also big.
Yeah, a lot of Hollywood uses that.
Not only Hollywood, most of the phones you use, most of the lenses in your phone, in your iPhones, in your Android phones, even if you won't buy an Android a Sony phone, chances are the lenses that are inside the cameras are Sony lenses. They sell to other companies, so all that is still there. Business is there. It's just seemingly, by reporting by various reputable sources, Forbes being one of them, that PlayStation brand and that PlayStation department of Sony pretty much funds a lot of the other parts of the place. So because of that, they cannot afford to let that one drop, because if it does, it will cause austerity measures for the other parts of the business. Whereas we know for sure that Xbox doesn't have that problem.
But again, are you telling me that if people right now believe that there was a day and day, forget about all the nonsense people with the big yeah, I'm not going to say that word, but the simp energy, big simp energy. That's what we'll call it.
Yeah.
Are you telling me right now, if a PlayStation Pass existed with day and date, it wouldn't far outstrip the adoption rate that Game Pass has today? Because Game Pass, their heavy hitters are not like here. I mean, it's starting now, but right now, if they told you that Ragnarok, Horizon, Ratchet, Returnal, Miles Morales, Demon Souls, if all of those were in a service day one, you don't think they'd be 50, 60 million subscribers now?
Honestly, for those, and I'm not talking about the hardcore, I'm not talking about the warriors. I hear you on that 100%. But for those who are in Game Pass now, and for those who have tried, because I'm a Game Pass subscriber, I've tried Luna, I've tried Stadia, I've tried Nvidia Shield, all the various subscription servers. For those who are there in that subscription world who are thinking, okay, I like subscription, right? Even if today PlayStation added all their first parties, their modern current first parties into a subscription service, it would not be as valuable as Game Pass because Microsoft has had a long time already building that library, hundreds of games. Their primary, their first parties, not even being the reason you get the subscription, right? Now, if Sony gets those relationships going, yeah, 100%. If they can match those relationships and get your Ubisoft games in there, your EA games in there, as Game Pass has already done, to the point where you're there for you stay for what do you call it? For
you stay for
Halo
12
Infinite
minutes in the Ascent. No, I think
right.
You come for Halo Infinite.
Sure.
Forza, but you stay for the other gems that are in there.
But think about it. They're almost at 30 million now, and none of those games have been the first part. It's all been potential. In addition to your Outriders and your 12 minutes and your Gunk that's coming and your Ascent, right? Even without all of the really heavy hitters,
but
and they now have.
I don't like that idea of it all being potential. I think that is a
no. But what I'm saying is to the end user who does not see, hey, this is the reason why I'm joining the Xbox ecosystem, right? It's like, hey, they bought Bethesda. That means future Bethesda games will be there. Oh, they bought Ninja Theory. That means future Ninja Theory games. That's potential. That's not something tangible you can touch and taste today.
But I don't.
While you're in there in the potential world, you're also playing Gen Zero that I didn't know I really loved, and now I'm playing that. And all these other games that are in there. I honestly think because Sony focuses too much on their own first party today, it may not translate if they were to put all their eggs in that basket today. It could get there. It definitely will get there because they're tip of the spear in the market, right? They just have not exuded that pressure to their competitors yet.
Their consumers do exactly as they're told. Mm-hmm. So that's the first thing. However, what I am saying,
I appreciate the debate.
what I am saying is this idea that people are on Game Pass for potential. Mm-hmm. Maybe me and you we're not, but maybe people who know who Ninja Theory is or who Double Fine is. Most people that are on, if there's almost 30 million people on there, most of them are on there. They're like, hold on, I get all these free games.
Yes.
I don't know what's coming, but I see what's here right now. I want to play these things. And that's why of course PlayStation
and Game Pass has done very well to keep them busy, not thinking about the potentials. It's about, hey, here's something new and another new.
And only in Twitter where people saying, oh, it's because of the potential. It is here providing value right now.
Indeed. Now, please, gentlemen, join the conversation. Do you disagree with us? Do you think that if PlayStation, and I'm speaking to you there, Blind Giant and Wandering Dutch, if you think that PlayStation went, you know what, screw it, we're all in. Let's take our chips, put it in the middle of the table. This is our Game Pass service, day and date, everything now from PS4 onward, everything now right in the center. They may not have all the various third parties because, as you see, PlayStation Plus, they have a very light smattering of third parties. It's all about the first party. Do you think that would get them? They'll jump them ahead of the market, and all of a sudden, people would look badly at the Game Pass because all of the first parties. I don't think so either. I don't think
it's not about they looking badly. I'm just saying they would.
I'm saying they would take over the market all of a sudden. They would get 60 million overnight. You think so?
No.
I don't think
No,
they get 60 million overnight.
It's if only a company could do that. The only company to do that in recent memory was Disney. And I'm sorry, but PlayStation do not get anywhere close to the name brand of Disney. Disney were the only ones to come close to Netflix.
Mm-hmm.
Amazon Prime is nowhere near Netflix, and Amazon Prime is also a juggernaut. No, they're not going to get magically 60 million overnight, because people don't just... When you're talking about a subscription, that's still... Right, okay, now I'm thinking about a monthly investment. Can I afford to now add yet another subscription service to my cap? And if someone's already got Disney, Netflix, Amazon, Xbox, and then you've got on the opposite side of the pond, you've got the likes of Discovery Plus or Showtime Plus or whatever the other brands are that you've got over there, plus then your current network stuff. On top of that, like for us, Virgin Media, Sky or BT, over there you've got your own cable services. So then you've got those costs on top. Adding yet another subscription isn't just a simple decision that everyone's going to make. So it's not an overnight. It's not just a simple, oh yeah, everyone on here is also now going to do this. A lot of people will just go, nah, I've got PlayStation Plus, I've got PlayStation Now. Like, why would I need to spend another $5 to get something I'm already getting? Okay. Unless they're going to amalgamate them and completely destroy PlayStation Now and PlayStation Plus and just have one
service. Yeah.
It's not going to happen.
So, okay, guys in chat, please weigh in here. That and another question. What is the sweet spot? Right. And when I say sweet spot, I'm a Game Pass Ultimate subscriber. I want it everywhere. I have it on the Xbox. I have it on the PC. I have it on the mobile. I have access to all the cloud stuff. What is the sweet spot for PlayStation, in this hypothetical world where day and date exists? Not even today. Today is good, and I will say let's also have that realistic conversation about these three tiers and all of that. But even if they were to add day and date, what is the sweet spot price? I guess I'll start with you, Dutch.
I think, like I say, and I've said this about Game Pass Ultimate as well, because I can foresee in the future Game Pass getting an increase, and it rightfully so. The more they keep adding these products in, it's going to be then worth it. And I think a $5 increase to Game Pass isn't going to be unjustified based on the quality that we've got on there now and upcoming quality. Initially, it was unjustified. Obviously, there was nothing in there to justify that. There wasn't the first-party day and date that we were expecting. Xbox knew that, so $10.99 over here and $15 over there was justifiable for what you were getting. I think on both fronts, on Xbox's side, $20 is perfectly fine if they were to choose to increase based on the quality that we're getting and the fact that we now have a sustained route of first-party day and date titles. It is then justifiable. On the PlayStation side, however, I think they would have to be $15 to start off with, like Xbox, until day and date. I don't think anything above that is worthy.
So you're saying their ultimate tier is $15 a month?
Yep, has to be.
Okay, and that would be acceptable by you. Even in the day in the world we live in today, you get, as it says here, you'll get the existing benefits of PlayStation Plus, right? Yep. You get a large catalog of PS4 games and eventually PS5, whenever that may be, and you get extended demos, game streaming for the library for PS1, 2, 3, and 4, and PS3 and PSP games. That is all of them, and that'd be $15 a month. You'd be okay with that today?
15, yes. That's exactly what we'll get with Xbox Game Pass Ultimate. $15, you get cloud gaming, you get PC gaming, you get Xbox gaming, you get day and date, you get backwards compatible games, you get trials, you get EA trials for 10 hours. So we're already
you get 10 hours of Battlefield. Like that's a lot of game right there.
Yeah, you get 10 hours of EA games before they drop into the vault 6 months down the line. So yeah, $15 until they do day and date PlayStation games, in which case then I can see an increase. Again, like I say, that would be justifiable to 20.
Okay. How about you, Blind Giant? What do you think?
I kind of going on with Dutch is like, I think that's probably it. Until they go day and date, I could see that third tier will probably move up to like 20 if they do it. But I feel like this second tier is what a lot of the people would go to. I feel that tier 3 would probably be for the hardcore PlayStation guys that want to go back and experience those games again and have that catalog. But I feel like tier 2 is where they're gonna get all their regular people. Not casuals, but just regular gamers. They'll pay for that because they'll get the PS5 games if they don't want to spend the $70. And I think the pricing that Dutch says is good. And for Xbox, I think because there is rumors of the Ubisoft connection or whatever coming to Game Pass. I feel like
definitely those thoughts out there. Yeah.
I feel if they add that and they do that $5 upgrade, like Dutch was saying, I don't see that being a problem, especially because I get it on my Ultimate, I get it on my PC, I get it on my phone, the cloud gaming now. Like I don't have to download a 60 gig game just to try it out to see if I'm gonna like it. I can just cloud it, most games. And so I think if they raise the price $5 on that, it wouldn't be a real issue for me, especially since I was taking care of those deals just like you guys were, and I'm good till 2024 also. So you know what I mean? So, and I'm sure PlayStation will have those eventually too. Like you'll see those deals too. So
that is a very interesting part, piece of the puzzle that we kind of glossed over. As Pixel points out in the chat, and salute to you, good sir. No PC access. Yeah, you will probably be able to stream it to your PC, but there will be no native installs, at least not yet. They haven't mentioned that. Now, we do see them slow walking towards PC builds, right? They're porting and this and that. So I would suspect at some point, like your native PC versions would also be part of the mix. But in the tiers that have been described now, there is no PC access. There's just PC access through cloud streaming. So that also makes it a little less than Game Pass, which gives you native access to some of these games, right? How about you, Everborn? $15 sweet spot?
No.
Where do you fall?
Absolutely. It needs to be $10 to $12. You're not doing day and date. You cannot have Halo Infinite. You can't have Forza Horizon 5. You can't have Starfield next year come out. And then you say, I'm going to give you a service that is not going to include our best. So we're giving you our leftovers, which means we don't really believe in the service. And this is why PS Now is only 3 million subs, because they're not including the games that are right now, right? Yes, older games are for legacy. They are the things that keep you there, but they're not the thing that gets you there. And them purposefully gimping the service tells me that if you don't care about this service, why should I? So what I will pay for is, since I got to pay to get online, I'm paying $5 a month for that right now. I'll pay another $5 for this back catalog of PS4 games. And then the PlayStation 1, 2, 3, and PSP games, best I'll give you is $2 for that. $12 is the max you will get. You're not getting 15 because you're not doing day and date. And this is not the same Xbox, right? If you look at the trajectory they're on, if you look at what their game studios have been doing, I'm sorry, you cannot charge $15 and say we're not doing our day and date. Because
and I'll actually do you one better. Your old games are literally backports of your old games. There's no touch-ups. There's unless there's a magical process that they have not shared with us, right? The best you might get is FPS boost, maybe, because that's also hard to do, because unlike PC games, which just scale to whatever hardware you have, console games are profiled and are locked. So even if the PS5 can do so much more, unless someone goes and changes that profile or unlocks it, you can't get the benefits of that. And they're not going to do that for all their old games, right? So you're still going to get exactly the way it looked on the new system. It might load faster because there's faster hardware there, but you'll still get the same pixelated old PS1, PS2 games looking exactly on this. So to make that, to charge you much more for that, you're not getting your what's the ninja game that shines so brightly on Xbox these days. They literally updated it to native 4K and 60 frames per second. Ninja Gaiden, exactly.
Did they now?
Oh yeah, it's native 4K. Ninja Gaiden Black, native 4K, runs smooth as butter on that system. And that game came out on 360 way back in the day. It's gotten better and better with time. That is not what you will get here.
They never gave me money.
You know what I'm saying? So, as a guy who loves the retro stuff, that's why I actually emulate a lot of stuff, because on the emulations on PC, you can go in there through the virtual hardware and tweak it and make it shine and give it that stuff. You can, it's not as good as when the developers do it natively, but it's way better than playing it like the source as it used to be. We don't know, and obviously we're playing with half a deck as far as the information is concerned. Maybe they come out and they say, hey, we have this new process that will then allow that to happen. I'm looking forward to it. That'd be great. But as long as that's not in the mix, and I keep coming back to Siphon Filter, I want a new version of that game. I want to play 1 and 2 again, but it's just hard to look at these days. And I don't think this will change that.
Again,
so,
they're running a huge risk of saying this. And again, I do think that at some point, just because Xbox is farther along the same road that that Sony is on this specific thing, I think that they may end up getting their legs cut from under them if Game Pass reaches that point to where they can get rid of the paywall for online gaming, right? And they're already in that direction.
They're close. Yeah, they're very close to that direction. You're absolutely
right.
Absolutely
and again, and Pixel said this in the chat, and I tweeted this, I think, yesterday or earlier this morning. They really just need to auto upgrade everybody to Game Pass, right? Get rid of the paywall for Gold. Get rid of Xbox Live Gold, or just make it free or whatever. And if you paid for it, now you got Game Pass. And see if you want to cancel Game Pass after we got all these games coming out in here.
And I think too, with that is the ultimate. If the math is right, I think if you just get regular Game Pass and you're paying for Gold, it comes out to the same price as Ultimate.
Yes.
And so you might as well. So you might as well just get Ultimate.
Yeah.
Well, but don't pay $15 for Ultimate. You wait till it's on
this
sale.
is a company. This is a company that's all about retrofit, right? They will not. That's why they're stuck on Windows. That's why it took them how many versions to get rid of the control panel, and still you can find it in Windows 11. You just got to look harder. They cannot cut.
I like the control panel.
Yeah, I do too.
I don't like change,
but that's the problem. That is the way of the consumer that Xbox that Microsoft knows. They cannot just one day cut bait and go, this is the new stuff, because people take out the pitchforks and they head to the streets. It's happened to them many a times, to the point where they've been bitten so many times where it seems like it now is built into their psyche and how they move forward. They always have to, we know the new one's better. We know the new one gives you more at the same price, but we're going to let you keep that if that's what you want. Why? Because we know that if we don't do that, you're going to come after us. That's how they are these days. It's unfortunate. And I think that is the reason why. Plus the fact that that Xbox Live Gold literally still prints them money. There are people who have been subscribed for Lord knows how long. They probably don't even use Xboxes anymore. And Xbox Live Gold is still on.
Even notice if you upgrade them to Game Pass.
Yeah, that is very true. That is very true. Okay, well.
And you can't tell me that's not what that $10 move was about.
Oh no! That $10 move, by the way, was not them raising the price. That was them, and I know it's basically a logistical BS that they did there. For a long time, if you were to pay like month to month, it costs that much. But most people buy it per year, and you get a discount for buying it per year. So they wanted to remove that discount for buying it per year, which then raises the price to how it was originally, right? It's not them raising the price; it's just them removing the discount.
Designed to coerce people over to Game Pass.
100% it was.
When you could just say your subscription just got better. You have Game Pass now.
You have Game Pass now,
and get rid of the other thing, because
yes,
they do not need. You can't tell me They have this whole Azure infrastructure. It's not like when they first started, right? You can't tell me we're able to stream right here for free from YouTube, and you can't have dedicated servers to let us play online.
You know, and now that you said that, I want to double back on that real quick. In this article, they said they were pushing more forward with specifically with online gaming, online streaming. Who do you think their partner is with? Is this that Azure deal coming to fruition?
Of course,
or are they going
Azure
elsewhere?
deal coming to fruition. And my question to you is: are they going to use dedicated hardware in the cloud and put PS5s in server blades and jerry rig them like?
But I don't think that may not be necessarily the solution. Speaking technically a little bit, they don't have to do that to get the benefits of it, right? Xbox did that because they can, and they basically are the beginning, middle, and end of that process. So they can make it easier for themselves by just putting the server blades, making them Xbox consoles. So you're basically making it easier for developers. You're not actually changing anything to build cloud games that way. They, before this time, pioneered the hypervisor. They pioneered that virtual machine that created the back compat lists, right? That's why the OG Xbox, for those who don't know, when you turn on when you're playing a back compat game and you turn it on and you see the little splash screen for the OG Xbox, you're literally in a virtual machine that thinks it's an Xbox. Same thing with the 360.
So
they don't need to go hardware for that.
No, but they can just
Microsoft. They can pay Microsoft to build that for them because it's an x86 at this point.
But again, I don't know that is the case, because I mean, if you're saying they're going to build them custom hardware, then sure. But this is not necessary for custom hardware. No, but it is, and I'm going to tell you why.
Please.
These games are designed very close to the metal, and all of this RDNA 2 or 1.5 architecture, even in the hypervisor, will have to have those things that you will have to simulate. And this is the reason they are not just using normal servers with high-end specs to stream these games to us in xCloud. Because of this custom architecture of these consoles, that is why when you play on xCloud, you are playing on a Series X and not a normal server blade.
But here's my competitive my counter to that, Everborn. That is because you're in the current gen, right? Just like during the Xbox One days, you were using Xbox One hardware. Doesn't mean that they cannot then emulate that. They can right now. I bet that while the next gen is being worked on, because they've already said that they're working on next gen hardware, right? There's also another team that's virtualizing current gen hardware. Same thing.
But that is not available right now.
True.
Right now, if you're going to run a PS5 game in the cloud, you're going to need to run it from a PS5
on the hardware
because of the way that the games are designed to take advantage of that stuff. I'm sure in the future you'll be able to virtualize this shit, but not today. So I think if they are going to...
my question is, why do you think not today? Why do you think not today? Because they have the Azure Cloud hardware can handle PS5 output. It can handle Xbox output. The reason why they put Xbox games in the cloud was not because the virtual machines couldn't handle it. It's because they know that if they make it special and require any uplift for developers, that is a reason for them not to build from Xbox. That's been a problem for them for a long time. So putting the hardware in the cloud basically stops all those narratives. Oh, you don't even have to build specifically an Xbox game. You could just build your game as you do, and it will run native, right? That is the solution they had there. That solution was not because the virtual machine couldn't handle it.
Why are they using specific Xboxes in the server blades right now when you want to play xCloud? Why didn't they just use them?
That's why I'm explaining. They're using specific hardware for Xboxes in the cloud right now, because if you don't, that's a different profile you have to work on. If you don't do that, that's like, okay, you build your native. Now you have to tweak it for cloud. Now you have to tweak it for Series S. They have had the problem for a long time now of their app stores not shining, because if you ask developers to do something unique for them,
then why say you're going to do that for Sony?
Because Sony has them already. Whatever Sony changes, I mean, look at their tools.
You're saying
Sony has never had a problem Sony has never had a problem with getting developers on board their system. That is what Xbox
part of that is because they say this is the one SKU you're working towards.
True.
Right?
True. So, okay, if that's what you're talking about, then yes, there is a world in which Sony can actually have hardware in the Azure, but I think that's too much of an uplift for a customer. You know, they did it for themselves, fine, great, but I don't see a world where Azure, where they're leveraging Azure, and in doing so, Microsoft would then have to put PS5s in the cloud in order for that to.
Yeah, they wouldn't. I'll tell you
because they can barely get PS5s in the hands of consumers, and that's the reason why Series X was a problem.
In the hands
of consumers. But the reason why is because they built them for the cloud. You're telling me PlayStation would go, okay, we're gonna prolong our shortage so that we can get them in the cloud?
Do you think that PlayStation just thought about this overnight? You don't think they had a plan for it? So, well, all I'm saying is when they're doing they're called this partnership, I'm sure they will be reserving dedicated hardware, right? And there's
I would love to hear more details about that.
There's a million different hardware configured. Like right now at work, we are moving to the cloud. We use all dedicated. We use all dedicated reserved dedicated hardware for what we're doing at work. So it's only us accessing these machines. Now, if you are going to do that, and if this is a multi-billion-dollar contract, which I'm sure it would be with Sony, they will make some customizations to suit that thing. That's just how these contracts work.
So here's Beast Mode, which I think is interesting.
You know,
see, here's where Beast Mode comes in, and I think it's very interesting, right? Because unlike PlayStation, unlike Xbox, who has always kind of played this two-tiered game of we're playing it on PlayStation, we're building it on PC as well as Xbox, right? Now, PlayStation is heading towards that direction. So what's to say that instead of putting dedicated cloud hardware, there is a world where when you're playing the cloud version, you're playing the PC version? Because that is literally more.
I'll give you that.
Not bespoke.
I'll stand down. If that's the approach,
you know,
you're not going to get any complaints. You're not going to get any arguments from me.
Because the idea of building those bespoke server blades is a huge cost that I don't think Sony can uplift, and there's no way Microsoft can just eat that for them. That's the foundation of Azure. That's the foundation of, you know, they invested years and billions of dollars into getting that running, right? I don't think they'll do that for their customer base, and I don't think their customer base has the money to do that same thing. But if they're going to the PC and all their games will now be PC compatible, there's your problem solver right there. Just like NVIDIA Shield for NVIDIA GeForce Now, for example, right? They just piggybacked off of Steam because that exists, right? Rather than having bespoke hardware in the cloud. You know, I would love to see more information about all of this stuff, because there has to be some magic sauce in the middle there. It can't be. I disagree with you, Everborn. I don't think it'll be PlayStation bespoke hardware, right? I don't think so. But also on the flip side, how quickly can they port a bunch of their PlayStation games, PS3, PS4, into the cloud to be able to be PC runnable? Specifically PS3.
As fast as they could work with Microsoft to jerry-rig. Listen, the Xbox One was not designed to be in server blades, but they jerry-rigged it and made it work. Am I right or am I wrong?
That was also before the outage, before the shortage of chips.
No, I understand that. This streaming service ain't coming out tomorrow, right?
They said this spring.
We'll see. You'll be able to stream the old joints. We'll see when you're streaming PS5 games.
Sure. Okay.
So again, it might be faster, provided the resources are available, meaning the chips and all the other parts are available.
And Beast Mode is absolutely right in this point as well. Specifically, the PS3 is very difficult because of the damn cell processor and how it was ass backwards in its development process, to the point where even to this bass backwards. I'm sorry, forgive me. I put the wrong syllable in the. Okay. So even to this point, the emulation community, I think just recently they cracked that nut to the point where now you can actually emulate it more properly. Before then, it was very difficult. People were stuck on PS2 and that was it, right? PS4 is actually easier than PS3. Those that don't know, the PS4 was a downgrade in processor than the PS3. So you thought you upgraded. No, you actually downgraded to the PS4 because the cell processor was more powerful and it was way more complicated. So, it'll be interesting. Now, okay, before we move off this topic, because I feel like we're beating it on multiple sides, is there any aspect of this that we have
pause in there somewhere? But
I leave that to you, good sir, to mention. Please go ahead. Pause. Exactly. Dutch, is there any aspect of this that we may be mistaken of, or we haven't been thinking about while all this news is hitting us? I know we'll get more, but we know PlayStation. They tend to only give you the bits that you need. That's right. The press release sometimes is more important than the actual video stream, if you will.
I just think as and when we get close at the time, we'll learn the details fully. But right this second, we know the bare basics. That's been reported by a person I both disagree with and agree with in the same breath. But as everyone said, I have no idea why people keep trusting them. Obviously, they want the news to break, but it's it's a bit of a strange one to me.
Mm-hmm.
But in essence, it's not a case of they're doing it just to compete with Xbox. I think they're doing it because they see the benefits of it. They just need to get the model right, and that's not easy across the board. Any of the
subscription to the wall a little bit.
Any of them will tell you it's not easy to get it right. Netflix will tell you that. Disney will say that. Disney have only just started now really ramping up everything. And you're talking series, films, the works. They're only just ramping that up now. And obviously that's going to get from strength to strength. Xbox is doing the same. It started off slow, but now they're starting to ramp it up. And now you're starting to see the fruits of the labor. Everything, Netflix exactly the same. Netflix, when it started, was just simply putting films on. It wasn't anything to do with their own products. Now, if you have a look at it, it's just everything on Netflix, especially all the big series, is Netflix produced. Now they've got mega stars making films for them specifically. It's what PlayStation's going to do in the future, but they have to start off on the right foot. And it will come. People can't just expect, and as across the board, yes, they have a competition to go against, but people can't also expect them at the same time to do it from the off because it'll just trip and fail. Will not get it right. They'll be in over the heels and they'll lose a substantial amount of money.
So, a quick weird aside from me. In what world do we find out that they ended up going with Google's back-end hardware and leverage Stadia tech instead of AWS or Azure? Although, to be clear, that back-end is fully Linux, so every game would have to be ported to Linux in order for it to work.
I think
that's the third option.
I think you answered your own question with that whole Linux and the Stadia
but
thing.
Still, their hardware and their infrastructure is top-notch, even though nobody really knows that.
Now, Luna, on the other hand, they're using Windows, so
that is Windows-based.
It could work a little bit better that way.
That is Windows-based, yes. Indeed.
But what is the this is what makes it difficult, man, and it makes you kind of appreciate these chess moves that Microsoft has been making, right? Because when you have that DirectX Ultimate 12, right? Like, and you're using these similar things, and you design this thing with cloud in mind, right? Like it and you own the data centers, right? And you put that work in with virtualization.
You own the field, you own the players, you own the teams, you own it all. Like you own the whole, you own the process at which all of them are made.
And that is why they're worth $2.4 billion.
True. So okay. I will leave. I will let us close this topic out with Blind Giant. What do you see for this? Where are you excited for this? Is this something that you're like day one, or are you gonna look at it with the side eye like a lot of people until it comes out and actually matters?
Yeah, I'm just like I said, I don't have a PlayStation, so to me at this point, it's like I'm just waiting to see what's going to happen. And what's interesting to me is I want to know, or I'm wondering if the PlayStation diehard are going to do this with all their, you know what I mean? Like, oh, we don't believe in subscriptions. Are they going to do it? Is it going to, when they go day and date, like when it goes day and date and the guys are out there chanting about like, oh, I hope it doesn't go day and date. I mean, I feel that they're all still going to do it because whatever Sony does, they're going to follow. And I think that
there's some justification going on right now in those spaces in Twitter streets already. That's why Mr. Everborn's been throwing hypocrisy bombs at people. You've seen.
You mean some rationalizations is what we're talking about.
You know, you've seen Dragon Ball where they throw spirit bombs. No. It's hypocrisy bombs. This you, and then you throw the 2020 tweet at you. You know what I'm saying? Yes, I've seen a lot of that happen. Not just at Everborn, but I've seen a lot of people doing that in the Twitters since this news dropped. But okay. You know, this has been a very interesting conversation, and I think as we get more information, this convo will keep going. You know, I'm sure there'll be a lot more to say about it. I'm sure that we'll probably speak a bit more on it on Primetime Gaming this Monday. So look forward to that. But before we end the show, I did want to, you know, basically pull it back to the topic that we initially were going to have. And it's not going to be a long topic. I just kind of wanted to brief us a little bit, just to kind of, it's called Reflections for a reason, people. So I kind of wanted to do a bit of that. You know, this has been a very interesting year for us, me specifically. This was the year I actually started podcasting, you know. This was the year that myself and Mr. Everborn Saga kind of took this journey, you know, and for better or for worse, we're onward and upward, like, you know, and it seems to be getting better and better. You know, when I was initially talking to the gentleman from the TalkStory podcast, you know, I started looking at past stuff. This was also a very big year for them, you know, very big year for Dutch. You know, a lot has happened this year, even though it seems like we're in this, you know, this pandemic ridiculousness, and it doesn't seem to end. You know, there's been a lot of uplift that has happened in 2021 that just kind of happened, and we just kind of kept it moving. And here we are with the subscriber counts that we have and the shows that are getting better and all of that. So I kind of wanted to, you know, take a quick opportunity to just sit back and thank, first and foremost, thank everybody that's been, you know, following us as we've been growing. We have growing pains. Today we're good. Tomorrow, you know, maybe the show may not be as hot as it was before. You know, and still people are sticking it out. People are checking it out. You know, our subscriber counts just keep rising. People keep watching. You know, I know that the folks from the TalkStory podcast, I've seen you guys on many of shows. You know, I've seen a lot of folks come and join you and be guests on your show. You know, I saw Eternal Umbra in the chat. Salute to you, good sir. You know, he's been out here. He's been on our show. He's been on your shows. You know, I see Beast Mode in here. You guys have always really been pushing us and helping us get bigger and better. And I kind of wanted to reflect on that a little bit and say thank you guys. And I appreciate you, and I appreciate my co-hosts and all of y'all, because technically we didn't really do a Thanksgiving show, but you know, this is kind of my way of just reminding people that, you know, we're all people here. And every time you guys post a good comment or give us some creative criticism in the comment section, I read all of that, you know, and your comments really fuel us to continue to do bigger and better things. And I think it's absolutely awesome that you guys have chosen to keep following us as community members in this space and continue to be a part of what we're trying to build. So I think I'll go with you first, Dutch. How about you speak a little bit to some of the things that have happened in 2021, because there's a lot there, bro. Like, I've seen you. It's been a little bit monumental, all of your growth in 2021. Please.
Yeah, it's been outstanding, to be honest. But and my key thing is, my end goal at the end of the day is to build. And this is a long-term approach to what I've already started, but my long-term goal is to build a big media group that is more focused on community. So it's built by the community for the community and helps others grow along the way. Mm-hmm. Obviously, you've seen that with the collective that we started. We now have, I think, 7 or 8 different content creators within that. And that ranges from singular content creators to podcasts. Of course, our most recent is the TalkStory Podcast. Joining us, our brothers from Hawaii. And obviously they're coming into the fold now as well, so we'll be helping them grow. And they've just hit their first milestone of 100. Of course, we've seen Gamers Watch podcast join us as well, and they're well over the I think the 300 mark now. The guys over at Live and Split Screen, as you know, Pong and Steel, are over the 400 mark now. So everyone's going in the right direction. We help each other. We lift each other up. We share our best practice and our best experience, and that's what it's all about. Everyone's got different voices. Everyone is growing, and it's on us to help kind of pay it forward, should we say, put our knowledge to good use. For us, it's been an outstanding year. We finished the year last year on 600 subscribers. We've doubled that to now, and we're just shy of that 1,200 mark, which is just monumental for us, and it's allowed us to grow continuously. And obviously, it wouldn't be possible without our community and the wider community. Of course, another massive shout out to any channel members and Patreons we have. Of course, helping fund the continuous streaming and improvement of our show. Everything that we get goes back into the podcast to make it better, to improve it. So we'll continue to do that. But going into next year, we're always looking to grow. We're always looking to help new shows grow on further. And to be honest, I wouldn't mind having the Slanderous Twins as part of the collective as well next year. It depends on how you see that.
Talk about that. Yeah, you know that's a good conversation to have, my brother. We'll talk about that. Yeah,
but
right.
yeah, I am super appreciative of all the opportunities I've had, of course, this year as well. Personally, being invited to be part of the Prime Time Gaming crew. On Boom's channel, and of course, that's always a blast every
shout
Monday.
out to Boom, man. Shout out to Boom.
Massive shout out to Boom.
As vocal as we can be, please shout out to Boom. That man is brilliant. He's amazing. I wish he was able to join us today. He wasn't able to. He had some other family things, but you know, sending the most positive of wishes to that man, because
we got to get him to 10,000, man.
Yes, we do. Yes, we do.
Yes, we do.
Definitely before the end of the year. If that could be a gift we could give Mr. Boomstick, that'd be fantastic. I think he's about 800 subscribers away. You know, I keep telling him he is one amazing Xbox story away from the 10K.
100%.
You know, let's get him over that bridge for sure. Yeah, I'm sorry. Continue.
No, it's all right. And my final ones again. I'm just appreciative of everybody who's given us a chance to have my voice heard on several. Again, I'm just one person with one opinion. So for people to value that opinion is always strange to me, but I am always appreciative. But yeah, the likes of Iron Lords has always been open-armed, always been massively welcoming. Cognito and David have always been there for a chat if needs be, whether that be professionally or personally. So massive shout out to them. And the likes of, again, we've got the Gaming Beyond the Box crew. I've got Season Gaming. We've got Green Path Gaming. Literally,
for sure. Yeah,
it is just infinite amounts of people that we've come together as a community, and we raise each other up and help each other. And massive shout out to them. It's been, like I say, it's a monumental year for us, but seeing even even the likes of Emil Perrenpluck getting the invite to go on the Xbox Factor podcast with Boom. I like seeing my wider crew get these invites as well, and I'm always pushing them to step out and experience these things. And if somebody invites you, come on. And of course, you've had Pat on the show as well.
Shout out to Pacha. That's right. Yeah, he was in here a little while ago. Yes,
he was. So it's when I'm lifting other people and when I see other people doing well, that makes me really happy. And when I see the shows that are part of my collective and all of them grow and go on to different shows, I try to stop into as many as I physically can and drop my support for them as well. So that's what we're all about. So again, my motto for this year and going forward is when one grows, we all grow. We all help each other and raise each other up.
Wonderful, wonderful. How about you? How about you, Blind Giant? I know your team has been growing strong. You guys have been really like taking the podcasting scene by storm with your positivity. You know, the brothers from Hawaii really like stepped up in a big way in 2021. How about you speak a little bit to that and all the accolades you guys have been, all the places where we've been able to find you this year?
I mean, a lot of that is all Bango Mango and Draco. They're the guys behind it, and I'm just happy to be along for the ride. And just like for me, this is like I literally just like I had Twitter for a little while, but I literally just got on like gaming Twitter. You know what I mean? I would just play games. I didn't follow the news. I just, oh, these games are coming out. Cool. I'm going to play that game. And then I got into Twitter and I realized, wow, this is there's
huge.
A
whole different world out there. Right?
Yeah. It's a whole nother world. You know what I mean? So I'm like I said, that's my first year doing all this stuff. And then I met up with Bango in the ILP chats, you know what I mean? And you know, one thing led to another. I'm on the show.
You were in the right place. The ILP chat's the place to be, man. That is the place to be. Very cool.
I love their show, man. Them, Dealer Gaming with RDX and Mr. Boomstick, everybody, like all you guys, man. Like, I'm not gonna lie, I was a little nervous being the only guy coming from TalkStory today, man. Just because you
represented them very well, very well. You represented them. You should not be ashamed at all. You did a good job.
Thank you. But yeah, I'm super thankful for that. I'm thankful for everybody that rocks with us, that comes in the chat, everybody, you know, like, and I'm glad just to be a part of this community and us from Hawaii to really spread that aloha and let everybody know, you know what I mean? Like, we all gotta love each other out here, you know what I mean? I know these Twitter streets get crazy, you know, but
they get a little slanderous, you know. But when they get slanderous, we also have the slanderous one here to keep it at bay.
Oh yeah, I love it when I see the people keeping receipts and then they start throwing them.
You know for sure.
Now, I'm like an accountant.
Mr. Everborn Saga, I saved you for last because I think of all of us, your meteoric rise has been greater. But I'm sorry. Go ahead. You gonna finish up?
Yeah, I just got one more. I just want to thank Dutch
speak. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Dutch for bringing us into the collective.
Yes.
And you know, taking a chance on some guys from Hawaii. You know what I mean? So much appreciated to you, man. Thank you so much. And thank you guys for having me on the show today.
Oh, come on now. Now, of course, as Boom likes to say, you now have the golden ticket. Whenever you want to come on, man, you know, it's available to you. The back door is there. You just walk right in. No big deal. You don't have to ask.
You know thank you.
Yes. Now, Everborn. Now, it seems that of all of us, your timeline has gotten much more full in 2021. You sleep less.
Sleep.
You do.
What
sleep has become
that?
A concept. So please tell the people what has happened to you in 2021.
Sleep is a dream that I strive towards, but I don't know that I've ever actually experienced it. No, 2021 has been pretty insane. 2020 was a hell of a year. Also, I've been doing these comics for a while, but 2020, I kind of started a new a job at a new company at a kind of a team lead role, and I bought a house in 2020. But 2021, I have become a landlord. I have started a business with my lady. We own and operate a daycare, and I'm still doing that leadership role as a software engineer in the financial industry. But in this space where you know me, I have, I'm 2 days shy of successfully funding my first 2 Kickstarters. I have been able to go to Comic-Con for the first time as a vendor. I have published several, more chapters. I have been able to get back into podcasting where, like you, Dutch, and you, Mr. K. Asante, I'm a member of the Primetime Gaming crew. I got to podcast with the Iron Lords. I was on RDX with Dealer. I was on Game Talks Live with Fonz. I've become good buddies with Randall Thor, of all people, for a love of fantasy. all of the guys that kind of got me back into gaming, Dealer, Colt, Rand, Jez, they've all kind of followed me, which is huge. I'm friends with King David, all these things. So this community has been so welcoming in terms of helping me get the word out about just this universe that I'm putting together, but just also kind of open arms in terms of this podcasting community and helping. Like I probably call King David once a week. I talk to you maybe every day, and I talk to Boom all the time. So I'm saying this. I know they say Twitter is not a real place, but I've made actual friends that I talk to offline all the time from this thing. So it's been a hell of a year between, like I said, the 2 or 3 businesses, if you count the comic books and podcasting and kind of getting the word out there and comic conventions and Kickstarters. And next year is going to be even bigger. So, because we're going to do, I know you can call me an author now, but like next year we're releasing our official fantasy novel. So I'm going to start walking around with a fisherman's hat and a pipe, and I'm never going to finish the books.
Yes, but and you're going to put two. You're going to put 2 letters in the middle of your name.
No, it's already there.
Oh, yeah, it's already there. It's already there.
Look at the books. But yeah, man, I cannot believe this year, and I do have to, just because like I'm going to be 40 in about a week, and I have to start sleeping or I'm going to go to an early grave. So just stay healthy, folks. But I'm saying all of that to say I want to thank everybody for all of the support and believing in the project and just sharing it out and helping me kind of live this dream. And I don't want to get soapboxy for a minute, but I will. If there's something you want to do it, right? Indeed. And don't think about what the end goal is. Don't think about the last step. Think about the next step, right? 100%. A lot of us get, and why a lot of us, I'm speaking for me, but I know a lot of people have had this problem as me. I think like my goal is so big, I can't possibly do it. It's going to take this many years. You talk yourself out of your own blessings, so to speak. Of course. So if you sometimes you just have to, knuckle up, put one foot in front of the other, and walk forward. And if you get up every day, and I do this every day. Well, you can't wake up if you don't sleep, but you know what I mean. I get up every day, and or before I go to sleep every day, I ask myself this question. Did the moves that I made today get me closer or further away from whatever my goals are? And if you start to think like that, a lot of the things that you couldn't figure out before will start to move into place. And a lot of people think this is like mumbo jumbo stuff, but I'm very big on energy, and it is first getting your mind right. And focusing less on the things that make you angry, focus less on negativity, focus on what you love, light a candle instead of cursing the darkness. And that, for me anyway, was the key to pursuing so much of my life goals. And I recommend the same for everybody else. Focus on the positive stuff. So that's
very well said. Yes, no, I appreciate exactly, everything you're saying there, 100%. And take it from a man who has multiple successful businesses. You think it's mumbo jumbo, give it a shot. You might find some differences. You might find some changes in your life. So I think
varying degrees of success.
Varying degrees. Hey, but you know what? Some folks see us in the podcasting game and they consider us successful, whereas we're still just putting one foot in front of the other.
That's all it is.
There, you gotta do that yourself.
It's about the next step and not the last.
Not the last. 100%. So while we're rounding the bottom of this episode, I will say that we will be.
I thought you were going to say the toilet, but good. You said episode. Okay.
We will be. I think we may have one more episode on the 11th, and then we'll take the rest off for the rest of the year. The 18th, the 25th, unless some crazy something happens, because the 25th is my birthday. Shout out to the Christmas babies out there. So unless something crazy happens, chances are next week's episode will be the last episode of 2021. So we'll be back at it again, and I actually also think that. Go ahead.
You know what I was thinking? Maybe we use that hiatus to make some of those upgrades we've been talking about. Sir.
Maybe we come back bigger and better with different tools and
there you go,
and all the graphics and things.
Yes, and I am now I'm sharing the Everborn Saga channel because I think folks should also support that channel because we'll be doing On the Real. I think we have one more or two more episodes of On the Real.
We're gonna do one more and then a special one for the Matrix.
And the special one for the Matrix. But yes, there is the Everborn Saga channel. If you are not following it, please do yourself a favor and go do so. We also have one or two more episodes there before the new year comes where we will focus more heavily on that as well. We appreciate everyone that has continued to watch this show and has been a part of the show, has joined the show. Wandering Dutch, thank you, good sir. You make the show better every time you show up. Even if you don't show up, you bless us with your intros and the outros and the good advice. We appreciate you more than you know, kind sir. Thank you so much. Tell the fine people where they can find you on these Twitter streets and everywhere else that you partake, please.
Thank you. Yes, it's always a pleasure, and you're welcome. No, it's you can find us, of course, over on Wondering Dutch channel for Midweek Mix-Up Podcast. This week, I'm giving the guys a little hiatus on the Wednesday so they can play Halo Infinite when it launches. So we're going to be doing it on Thursday. I'm still debating whether or not to do the Game Awards live stream or whether or not just to watch it. But other than that, my main thing after that, I haven't decided when we're going to finish for the break either. But my main thing after that is the charity stream for Macmillan Cancer Support over in the UK. I've got a big target, but we're already nearly a tenth of the way there, and we're still 2 weeks away. So set it up as £1,000 target. We're £95 into it already. So that'll be it. It's a 24-hour stream. The General C has said he's going to attempt to do the full 24 hours alongside me.
Oh wow, so that is an accomplishment, man.
Hats off to him if he does. But yeah, we're going to be playing a variety of games and jumping in with a variety of people. That'll include the likes of Flight Sim, Forza, Halo, It Takes Two. We're going to be doing a playthrough of that. Potentially some Age of Empires. We'll see what how the mood takes us. But it's going to be some party games, get some of the community involved, just have some fun and raise as much money as possible. That'll be on the 18th. Starts at 11 a.m. in the UK. That's 6 a.m. Eastern in the US. All the way through until 6 a.m. the next day in the US. And obviously from 11 till 11 in the UK. So I'm looking forward to that. Of course, it's going to be tiring. I'm going to get a lot of snacks and drinks and food and things ready.
We'll come check you out for sure. I'm sure the community will represent. We'll be there. For sure.
I'm coming for the snacks.
You're coming for the snacks. But yeah, that's the main one for me. The main one I'm looking forward to, of course. We're going to be doing some kind of end of year show as well, but just kind of highlighting some of our best clips and best moments throughout the year, as opposed to talking actual topics, and just have some fun. But yeah, it'll be good fun.
Yeah. And Blind Giant 808, you came here, you represented your team strongly. You it was a great showing, and the folks at the TalkStory Podcast have been really doing great work this year. I'm sure we'll see more of you guys next year, bigger, better as you guys are growing even bigger. Please tell us where we can find you this week and what you and your team will be doing and how things are going.
Yeah, thank you again for having me on here. It was a great show. And yeah, you can find us at TalkStory Podcast Hawaii on Twitter. On there, we'll have all our news for when we have our shows and everything. Please give us a like and follow also on YouTube. Same thing, TalkStory Podcast Hawaii. You can find me on Twitter, BlindGiant808, on Xbox, on Steam. Not on PlayStation, but for now. But that's where you can find me. I'm working on getting my Twitch stream going and stuff. I had some technical difficulties and stuff, but I've been working through that, getting that set up and everything. So you can find me on Twitch at BlindGiant808 also. And I think our show we're taking a break for December just to kind of spend time with Ohana and family and everything. But who knows? Maybe if something comes up, we might have a show. But we're very, really appreciated that everybody that rocks with us. And thank you all so much. Appreciate it.
And of course, I will make sure all of the updates and the tweets and all of the information where you can find the TalkStory podcast is in the show notes, including the brothers that weren't able to make it. We will definitely reschedule with them, 2022 or however as soon as possible we can get them on the show. We definitely will do that. We appreciate the fact, life happens. It is what it is. We hope everybody stays cool and everybody stays strong, and we'll definitely see them in 2022, if most likely sooner. We appreciate it. Now I see Everborn. You have a bit of the more of the animation on screen for us. Tell the fine people where they will find you in the next coming week, handing out knees and dropping more logic bombs on people. Go ahead.
You are not going to hear from me at all starting December 8th because I will be balls deep in the Halo. Pause. But what's it called? Yeah, Everborn Saga everywhere. Xbox, PlayStation, Steam, Oculus, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, you name it. Everborn Saga is where you find me. But most importantly, everbornsaga.com. You can get a hold of some of this merch that you see behind me, or you can get, if you want to do some cap, you get the Everborn cap. Check out the Kickstarter because we've only got about 3 days left. It's 67 hours specifically, and then hopefully we can make at least that first stretch goal. But I will say there is the Everborn tier where we'll make you a character in the Everborn universe, and you will show up in a future issue of the series. So that I just wanted to tell people about that before it goes away. It's a limited tier because we can't make 1 million characters, but check that tier out if you can, and subscribe to Everborn Saga on YouTube, because I'm 30 subs behind Mr. K. Asante. And it is a travesty mixed in a mockery.
There you go. Yes, go ahead.
Hit that subscribe. Hit the
subscribe button, people. Yes. Well, we will end this show where we started, with the wonderful contribution from Wandering Dutch. He provided the outro for us as he continues to provide such great insight and great support. We appreciate you, good sir. Thank you guys for watching. We'll see you guys next week. Enjoy your gaming, and see you on them Twitter streets. Peace.